broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends and neighbors, what do you say? Good morning. Great to see you this morning. This is The Bill Press Show. We're coming to you live from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., bringing you up to date on all the news of the day, whether it's happening here in our nation's capital, around the country, around the globe. Coming to you live on your local progressive talk radio station, on Free Speech TV, and worldwide on our video stream, TawkrTV. Events in the nation's capital. Hi, everybody. It's Bill Press. This year marks the 10th.
broadcasting around the nation on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends and neighbors, what do you say? Good morning. Great to see you this morning. This is the Bill Press Show. We're coming to you live from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., bringing you up to date on all the news of the day, whether it's happening here in our nation's capital, around the country, around the globe. Coming to you live on your local progressive talk radio station, on Free Speech TV, and worldwide on our video stream, TawkrTV. Events in the nation's capital. Hi, everybody. It's Bill Press. This year marks the 10th anniversary of doing the Bill Press Show every day, covering the news of the day with the nation's top newsmakers, either on the line or in our studio right here on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Not only that, I go to the White House briefings every day to get answers to the top questions of the day. Bottom line, if it's happening in Washington, D.C., either at the White House or the Capitol, we are all over it. Every day, we welcome to our studio political leaders and reporters and labor leaders and newsmakers to help us understand the issues of the day. You know, we started out as a radio show only, but over the years, we have branched out to all forms of the new media. So today, we're not just a radio show. We are podcasting, streaming audio, streaming video, and we are simulcast live on Free Speech TV nationwide, reaching out to 40 million households on Free Speech TV, in addition to hundreds of thousands on local radio stations and online.
AFGE is so proud to be associated with this show and looks forward to working with Bill and this show for a long time.
Bill Press is the right man at the right time with the right message.
And thanks to the Bill Press Show, we get our message out to thousands and thousands of people every day. Thank you, Bill Press.
The Teamsters are a proud partner with Bill Press on his show, telling the truth about what's going on with working families. Tune in.
Yes, it's been a fun and exciting 10 years so far for the Bill Press Show. We're looking forward to many more with all of you, broadcasting live every morning from the nation's capital.
On your radio, on TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
A few years ago, plastic bag waste in our city came to a tipping point. It was clear we had a bag problem. My department was tasked to reduce plastic bag consumption. We needed to come up with ways to change human behavior. So we asked ourselves,
would you like a bag?
What do people really hate?
Yep.
Getting punched in the stomach. Preliminary studies showed that the consequences weren't severe enough to warrant behavioral change.
Actually, can I get that double bagged?
So we thought, what do people hate more than getting punched in the stomach? Kissing Helga.
Hey, big boy.
People didn't find her so offensive after all, so we had to get creative.
How many bags? Okay, now, pour this ice water down your pants.
We tried everything.
Eat this rat. Defuse this bomb.
Even fighting your clone. After blowing through millions of dollars of government funds on research, I came up with a brilliant idea.
Why don't we just charge 5 cents per bag?
That's a stupid idea.
Would you like a bag?
Yes.
5 cents a bag.
5 cents? 5 cents? Do I still have the option of getting punched?
Honestly, I don't know how everyone else missed it.
Why don't you just get a reusable bag?
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
All right, friends, here we are. We have just about reached the end of the road for this winter pledge drive, but you still got just one more chance to get your help in for Free Speech TV and to take advantage of that opportunity to get a big tax deduction here at the end of the year. And as we wind things up, really two big points to make. Number one is for those of you who have responded so generously, we just want to say thank you. We haven't reached our goal yet, but we're getting very, very close, and we could only get there because of so many of you that came through with pledges from $5 all the way up to $1,000. I just got to tell you, it really does mean a lot to all of us to know that you value free speech as much as you do, that you appreciate our work, and you want to keep this great, unique, one progressive television channel in the entire nation going, and we wouldn't be able to do it again without your help because, as you know, no government help, no corporate help, no Koch brothers help, no Warren Buffett help. It's all you that are the heart and soul of Free Speech TV. That's point number one. Point number two, if you haven't made your pledge yet, come on, don't be a freeloader. Get on board. Join the team at whatever level that you can and make your pledge today to Free Speech TV to keep us going. You know how to do it. Just pick up the phone and call 877-378-8669 and make your pledge, or make your pledge online at freespeech.org. And coming out to you for your help, if you can help us with just $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Eco Journal and a pen set to go along with it. If you help us with $5 a month, a pledge of $5 a month, $60 a year, the Free Speech TV calendar like this one with photos of all your favorite television hosts from Free Speech TV. For $120, $10 a month, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. $240, $20 a month, you get the calendar. 2 of those pint glasses, a contribution made to the Women's Bean Project, and from the Women's Bean Project, a little bundle of a cornbread and a can of soup for you. $360, a beautiful hand-woven cow-press scarf like this one I am wearing today, like the one you see on your screen. Each of them a work of art, and if you have one for yourself, you will be not only warm, but very proud to wear it. And finally, for those of you fortunate enough and lucky enough to be able to afford it for $1,000, you get yourself to Washington, come spend a few days in Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner at one of our great restaurants on the Hill, and then we'll invite you in the next morning to meet our entire team here at the Bill Press Show. Again, last chance. Make sure you are on board. Thank you if you already are, and if you haven't, now's the time to do it right now during the Bill Press Show at 877-378-8669 or go to freespeech.org. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and thank you.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Columbine.
Virginia Tech.
Tucson.
Aurora.
Fort Hood. Oak Creek.
Newtown.
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 How many more?
How many more? How many more colleges? How many more classrooms?
How many more movie theaters?
How many more houses of faith?
How many more shopping malls?
How many more street corners?
How many more?
How many more?
Enough.
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 Demand a plan.
Right now. As a mom.
As a dad. As a friend.
As a husband.
As a wife.
As an American.
As an American.
As an American.
As a human being.
For the children of Sandy Hook.
Demand a plan. No more lists of names. It's not too soon.
It's too late.
Now is the time.
before we all know someone who loved someone on that list.
No more lists.
No more.
Who they might have been. No more.
If we had just done something yesterday.
It's time.
We can do better than this.
We can do better than this.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time for our leaders to act.
Demand a plan. Right now.
Right now.
You! Demand it!
Enough.
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 Is the Bill Press Show.
Oh, boy. Oh, the lid on the mic there. Hey, here we go. My goodness. Right off the bat. Friday, December 18th. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 1 week away from Christmas. I'm so excited because not just because it's a week from Christmas, but this is the day. Jamie, Ray, this will be your very first Bill Press Show Christmas lunch. The Christmas Lunchtacular that we have every year. Let me turn my God. Let me turn. I had the volume on my computer. The volume on my computer came on. The volume on my computer.
So I guess not just one of us.
We get a little do-over here this morning. Here's the deal with the Christmas party. By the way, hi. My name is Peter Ogburn. Filling in for Bill Press today. Running the board is Jamie Benson. Keeping us between the ditches today. Doing a fine job already doing that.
Good morning, Peter.
Happy Friday, sir.
You as well.
If you call our phone number, 866-55-PRESS, 866-557-7377, 866-55-PRESS, the voice you hear on the other side of the phone is that of Ray Rogers, who is standing by to take your calls. And we got double duty on the video this morning. We got Cyprian Bolding, and we have Monty Kanzler. You might ask yourself why. Why do we have two videographers?
Well, you got to find the right angle for that mug of yours.
That's right. Look, we need people working double time to try and figure out how to make this thing work on TV. But Cyprian went to the 1:45 a.m. screening of Star Wars, which is cool. That's cool. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to see it over the weekend. We'll talk about some Star Wars here in just a second because I have takes on it. But today's the day, Jamie. Are you ready for the Christmas Lunchtacular?
Absolutely not.
Okay, yeah, you should. It is. So here's the deal. I insist that we have the Christmas Lunchtacular at the Palm every year, and we sit below the painting of Bill's face, right? Like the Palm, if you've ever been into a Palm, because they're all over the country, they draw on the walls like caricatures of all different political types or people around town, right? And there's one of Bill Press. And so I insist. I accept nothing less than sitting below Bill's head as we all celebrate the holidays. Now, the party has become stuff of legend.
Yeah, a lot of things that we'll never say on air.
Yeah.
Whether on syndicated radio, where you can't say a bunch of words, or on satellite radio, where you can say a bunch of words.
We just don't talk about these things.
Or in the deep depths of the internet.
You have a lot to live up to, Jamie, because two producers before you attempted to party too hard at the Christmas party, and one of them went to jail. And one of them nearly destroyed the studio when he came back here and drunkenly tripped into a support column and bashed his head through it.
So I'd really like to take some calls this morning about your worst day drinking.
Dude, you're onto something.
Incidents.
You're onto something.
Because it's a
I got some
lunch.
bad ones.
Most holiday parties are at night, whether it's a happy hour or a dinner. Maybe even a weekend thing every once in a while.
Yeah.
We have a midday boozy lunch that's about to go down, and I'm sure we're not alone.
I'm going to make an executive decision. Phone lines are wide open today. If you call me and tell me, A, your worst day drinking stories, because I think Jamie's going to have a pretty good one come Monday. Your worst day drinking stories, or the worst holiday party story, right? I want to hear both of those.
That's really
I want to
good.
hear both of those, because I actually do have some really bad holiday party stories. Not because I drank too much, but I'll tell you a quick really good holiday story. It's early enough because I'd get in trouble if I told this normally. So we had a holiday party, and it actually sort of coincided with this celebrity pro-am golf tournament that we did in Charleston when I was living there, the radio station. So it was at this big club. It was this giant party, and you know who was there? There was a soap opera actor, Jack something. Dan Marino was there for the Miami Dolphins. A couple of hockey players who I don't know, didn't know then, don't know now. But it was this big thing that we had our holiday party. All these celebrities were there, and it was at this cigar bar, and all the celebrities signed their names on these boxes of cigars, like an expensive box of cigars. We were going to raffle them off for charity, right? That was part of the thing we were doing with the radio station. So my date at the time, who went on to become my wife, which is why I got to tell the story now and not later, because she's still sleeping. She got into her cups a little bit. She had a little something to drink, as did I. And I look over at one point, and she has a marker and is signing her name on all these cigar boxes, like on top of the celebrity.
Oh, no.
Signatures. And I spot her doing that at the same time that my operations manager of the station sees that. And it was like, oh, man.
And you were like, I'm going to marry that woman.
First of all, I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that is not good.
No.
So I went over there. I gently escorted her away from that. Everything was fine, although I got an email a couple of years ago around the holidays from one of my former coworkers who was like the assistant PD, who still has a box of cigars with her big signature on top of it.
Hey, it could be worth something someday.
That's true.
I won't use names on air, but your wife,
she's a big deal.
She's a pretty big deal.
She's a bigger deal than I am.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Anyway, I want to hear your worst holiday party stories / your worst day drinking stories, because Jamie and Ray both may have a couple of good stories like that after today's Christmas lunch.
I hope it's Ray and not me.
All right. Well, we got a lot of stuff to get to. I want to talk a little bit about terror here in America. President Obama talked about it a little bit yesterday. We're going to talk about that and so much more. But first,
this is
look at this guy.
Full Court Press.
All right, I'll do it. Just a couple of other stories for you on this Friday morning. The biggest story of yesterday that doesn't really fit into any specific category here on the Bill Press Show. Martin Shkreli, a villain to many. You may remember a couple of months ago, Martin Shkreli increased the price of a drug that his pharmaceutical company had just purchased 5,000%. It was public outcry. He instantly became an evil figure in the news. He has reemerged in the headlines. Yesterday morning at 6 a.m., he was arrested. FBI agents broke into his Murray Hill apartment. Shkreli, who is 32 years old, was arrested or arraigned in federal district court in Brooklyn on securities fraud and wire fraud charges. Shkreli also, just about a week ago, purchased the very rare Wu-Tang album for $2 million.
Yes.
People weren't happy with that either. So there was a couple of, what do they call a public information request where you can...
Oh, the FOIA?
Yeah. Where you can request, if someone gets arrested, certain things that,
I saw this.
that pertain to them. So folks thought maybe we'd actually get this Wu-Tang album because Martin Shkreli had been arrested.
Yeah.
However, the FBI New York, it's an official Twitter account, tweeted yesterday, breaking, no seizure warrant at the arrest of Martin Shkreli today, which means we didn't seize the Wu-Tang Clan album.
Oh, my God.
The FBI tweeted that.
You got to know, though, that the FBI probably took a couple spins on that album, right?
They have to.
If you're going into there and you're arresting him, you might hang out a little while afterwards just to listen.
In New York, there's plenty of cops.
Oh, gotta
that wanna
be.
hear that.
Gotta be.
Absolutely. All right, here's a story from overseas here. Have you ever heard of the airline Ryanair?
Ryanair, yes, of course. Yes.
Ryanair.
Yeah.
All right. So a guy by the name of Ronald Furlong was flying Ryanair back in August 2012, going from Dublin to London, when a flight attendant apparently spilled hot tea onto his lap. The Daily Mail reported that Mr. Furlong's genitals, thigh, groin, and abdomen were hurt when the hot drink fell into his lap when being passed over to him to another passenger, which that's a pretty, that I could see that happening.
Sure.
It's a chance, but
Sure.
I could see it happening.
That's terrifying, though.
More from the Daily Mail, quote, the victim said that his social, domestic, and recreational lifestyle had been, quote, interfered with after he was burned. He was awarded $41,000.
No kidding.
Yeah. Like the McDonald's hot coffee thing.
That's terrifying, though.
Absolutely terrifying.
You know what I do? Just to be safe when I fly from here on out, what I'm going to do is so that I don't, if it spills on my lap, I don't get burned, is I'll just tuck it into my shoe. That way I won't have to worry about it getting burned.
All right. Moving on. In the NBA last night, there was a big matchup here. LeBron James faced off against Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder. The pro golfer Jason Day was in the crowd. In fact, he was sitting courtside with his wife, Ellie Day, when LeBron James, and this happens a lot in basketball, it's close quarters there, LeBron James tumbled right into Ellie Day. Ellie Day wasn't just a simple cut and bruise there. She had to be taken away in a stretcher.
Oh, man.
She was down for several minutes. She had a brace placed around her neck and head. The game was halted. LeBron went back over to check on her. We are told now that she's alert and doing okay at the hospital, but what a crazy little story there. LeBron, by the way, as much as I personally do not dislike the guy, did a really nice thing this week when the Cavaliers came to Boston.
I saw this.
His shoes to a Special Olympian, a young man who was very happy.
The video of that is so cool. That kid just, exploded with joy.
Yeah, he's wearing a Celtics jersey. He's obviously a Celtics fan, but when arguably the greatest player in basketball comes over to you with his pair of shoes, you're not going to slap him out of his hand.
No, of course.
So.
Did the Cavaliers win last night?
I have no idea.
Did the Cavaliers win last night, Siri? Let's see if Siri knows.
This is
The Cavaliers narrowly defeated the Thunder by a score of 104-100 yesterday.
Man, I wish I watched the game.
There you go. That's a good game. 104-100. By the way, the LeBron James-led Cavaliers have never lost to the Thunder. Did you know that? They've never lost a game to the Thunder.
No way.
I saw that stat yesterday. That's why I was asking. Right. He was 6-0 before last night. They never lost a game to the Thunder with LeBron James. All right, so we're up against a break here, but I want to throw something out here for you to chew on. Because yesterday the president went to the Counterterrorism Command Center, which is not a place he goes to often. It's out in Tyson's Corner, Virginia, which is outside of Washington, D.C., but not too far outside of Washington, D.C. And, we talk a lot about things that are going on here at home. We talk about the terrorism issue. We looked at San Bernardino and know that those were two people who were at the very least inspired by terrorism. There was the shooting at an Army recruitment center in Chattanooga, Tennessee, earlier this year. And we found out that was also inspired by terrorism. Now, it's hard to say that these things were terrorist events, or events that ISIS was responsible for putting on, because it appears as though that's not the case. But they certainly were inspired by those folks. Yesterday, Barack Obama talked about if there was any kind of credible info on another attack coming to America.
At this moment, our intelligence and counterterrorism professionals do not have any specific and credible information about an attack on the homeland. That said, we have to be vigilant.
We have to be vigilant. And this is something that I keep coming back to. When I was watching that debate earlier this week, which I didn't think was a very good debate, frankly, but I was watching that debate. Every single Republican, for the most part, took their opportunity to sort of bash the president and say, he didn't keep us safe. He hasn't kept us safe. Look at San Bernardino. Ben Carson had a moment of silence for San Bernardino. Everyone says the president allowed terrorists to strike here on the homeland. Now, there is maybe a nugget of truth to that. But the fact remains that nobody up there mentioned the fact that these were American citizens who legally obtained their guns, who carried out a shooting here in America. Now, it's bad, obviously, and we pray and, send wishes to the families of the victims and things like that. But at the same time, what's the difference between this and any other bit of gun violence here in the country? You didn't hear any of them talk about terrorism at a Planned Parenthood center, which happened just a couple of weeks ago. There's not much difference between that and what happened in San Bernardino. It was a guy, an American citizen, who legally obtained a gun to go and carry out an agenda. He refers to himself and says in court that he was a savior for these unborn babies. What's the difference between this guy and the shooters in San Bernardino? What's the difference between someone who goes into Sandy Hook Elementary and shoots all these young kids, kills all these young kids? What's the difference? Why is there no outrage from Ted Cruz, Ben Carson, any of these other Republicans? Why is there no outrage? What's the difference? And I want to play the clip from the president when he had his Oval Office address a couple Sundays ago. And he made the point, you want to fight terrorism, you've got to fight guns.
Congress should act to make sure no one on a no-fly list is able to buy a gun.
Duh.
What could possibly be the argument for allowing a terrorist suspect to buy a semi-automatic weapon?
866-55-PRESS is my phone number. 866-557-7377 is your phone number. I want to hear from you. It's important that we get your take on this. Because someone should hold the Republicans accountable. Hell, even at the next debate. Excuse me, Ted Cruz, what's the difference between San Bernardino and the shooting in Texas at Planned Parenthood? Or in Colorado at Planned Parenthood? What's the difference? Why are we saying this is a failure of the president, but this is okay? 866-557-7377. Can't do the show without you. Coming up next. My name is Peter Ogburn.
Get social with Bill Press. Like us at Facebook.com/Bill Press Show. This is The Bill Press Show.
Here we go on Free Speech TV. You know where we're going to start? I think we're going to start one of those countdown clocks like they have on CNN before the debate. So many hours and the diminishing hours and minutes and seconds until the whole thing starts. Well, our countdown clock, there are just hours left before the end of this pledge drive here in December. Hours left before your chance to get that big tax deduction by giving a contribution as generously as you can to Free Speech TV. So don't put it off any longer. Time is running out. Do it now. Make your pledge now. And I don't mean later today. I mean right now during this Bill Press Show. So we get the credit for whatever contribution, whatever pledge you're able to make to Free Speech TV. And you know how it works. Look, there's a lot of work putting the show together. I hope you appreciate that. I know you do. I mean, we start right after the show. We have a little meeting where we take a look back at today's show and then already start planning on the show, what we want to do, the guest kind of guests we want for the next day, what issues we think we'll be talking about the next day. All day long, Peter and Jamie are working on booking guests for the next day and planning out the show. Again, the issues that we may want to touch on, see what's happening in the news. I go down to the White House at the briefings to gather whatever information I can from the White House briefings to get that inside look at what's happening at the White House. And then we have a conference call at 5 o'clock every afternoon to go over the show, what we've got together so far. And then the next morning we get here an hour before airtime. That is 5 o'clock Eastern, if you please. and do the final job of putting the show together, and then we're on the air for 3 hours with you every single day. A lot of work, but we love it because we love being part of the nation's only progressive 24/7 television channel. And if you appreciate it, and we know you do, again, show your appreciation as generously as you can by making your pledge to keep Free Speech TV on the air. And coming back to you, in return for your pledge, you can help us with just $30. We'll send you a Bill Press Eco Journal and a pen set to go along with it. If you can help us with a pledge of just $5 a month for all that great TV that you get, we'll send you a great Free Speech TV calendar with pictures of all your favorite Free Speech TV hosts. $10 a month, a pledge of $120 for Bill Press Show pint glasses. A lot of fun to have around when your friends stop by. $20 a month for a $240 pledge. A great little package put together by the Women's Bean Project. A copy of that calendar we told you about, 2 of those pint glasses, and a little can of soup and some cornbread. For $360 or $30 a month, what a great treat to get a hand-woven, one-of-a-kind Carol Press scarf, rayon chenille scarf for this winter. And for $1,000, if you can do that, get your way to Washington. You and a friend come by the studio here and watch the show. And the night before, Carol and I will take you out to dinner at one of our favorite restaurants on Capitol Hill. There you go. Now's the time. Come up, step up to the bar here, belly up to the bar. Make your pledge right now during the Bill Press Show. Put us over the top. Go to 877-378-8669 or freespeech.org. Make your pledge as generously as you can. Come on, do it. Don't put it off any longer. Okay, thank you.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show. Peter Ogburn sitting in for Bill Press today. My question today is really easy for me to understand. I don't know why Republicans can't see this. When you run around and you say the president hasn't kept us safe, the president has allowed terror here on the homeland. They only reference San Bernardino and the San Bernardino shooting, which, by the way, was done by a couple of wannabe terrorists with guns that they did obtain legally here in America. If we're really worried about it, if we're really concerned about scaring the American people, if you're really worried about keeping the American people safe, where the hell is the outrage about the thousands upon thousands of other people who have been killed here in America by gun violence? If your argument is the president hasn't kept us safe, the president hasn't kept us safe from a lot of gun attacks here in this country. And I'm not laying that at the foot of the president, but if Republicans are ready to blame the president for San Bernardino, you got to blame him for all the other shootings here in this country. 866-55-PRESS. What's the difference? 866-557-7377. Got to get your calls coming up next.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Okay, last call. Last call. No last call for alcohol. Last call for you to make your pledge to Free Speech TV. We're winding down this pledge drive. Just a few more days to go and getting right near that goal. We still have about $100,000 to raise. That's another $1,500 a day for this show. And last call also, and last chance for you to get that great big fat tax deduction you need at the end of the year by giving to your favorite charity, namely Free Speech TV. And if those of you who have already made your pledge over the last couple of weeks, we thank you. Thank you for being part of the team, part of our friendship and partnership here on Free Speech TV. And if you haven't yet made your pledge, why the hell not? What are you waiting for? All right, you're waiting for the last minute? This is it. We're at the last minute. Don't be a freeloader. You know, if you're enjoying Free Speech TV, get off your butt and do your part. Do your share as generously as you can to keep Free Speech TV on the air. And, if we don't make that amount that we need to make this time, one of two things could happen. Either Free Speech TV could start running paid commercials and get corporate money and be just like the rest of TV. You don't want that to happen. Or we could just go dark and end of Free Speech TV. You don't want that to happen either. So the way to prevent that is, again, do your share. Sign up today, right during this show. Make your pledge. Go to the phone, 877-378-8669, or go online to freespeech.org. and make your pledge as generously as you can. Do it right now during this show. If you help us, again, with $30, a pledge of $30 will get you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and a pen set. For $5 a month, a pledge of $5 a month, $60, a Free Speech TV calendar like this one with pictures of all your favorite Free Speech TV talk show hosts. $120 pledge, $10 a month. 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses, $240, $20 a month. A whole little package. The calendar, 2 Bill Press Show pint glasses, contribution to the Women's Bean Project, a can of soup, and a bundle of cornbread. $360. That's a $30 a month pledge. How about a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf just for you for this holiday season? And special gift, help us with $1,000. You come to Washington, we'll have a great time. Take you out to dinner. Carol and I will take you out to dinner at one of our favorite restaurants on the Hill. And the next morning, we'll get some district donuts, invite you in to see the show, meet the whole team, and it'll be your moment in Hollywood on the Potomac. That's it. Again, go online to freespeech.org or go on the phone, 877-378-8669. We really, really need your help. Don't be a freeloader. Get on board. Be part of the Free Speech TV team during the Bill Press Show, and do it now. And we thank you.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
To get in the way before it happens.
To get a friend home safe.
And to not blame the victim.
It's on us.
To look out for each other.
To
not look the other way.
It's on us to stand up.
To step in.
To take responsibility.
It's on us, all of us,
to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Seen on Free Speech TV and online on TawkrTV. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hello, friends. My name is Peter Ogburn, here on this Friday, December 18th, 1 week away from Christmas. I am so ready.
Not your favorite holiday, though.
It's not my favorite holiday. It's not Ving, but I do love Christmas. I like Christmas a lot more now that I have kids, right? Because it becomes a whole, legit magical thing to watch them.
You see their joy.
I do. I experience their joy through them and their eyes. Although, they're starting to get a little old now, so there's the little preteen angst happening.
Your oldest is
my oldest. He turns 11 here in a couple of weeks, and
the other thing, you have a December birthday.
I do.
And I always love talking to folks with December birthdays who also celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
When it comes to getting presents when you were a kid,
did you
get your fair share?
I have the perfect distance between birthday and Christmas.
Yeah,
right?
you got
because I got a couple of weeks. I got a couple buffer weeks. There were a couple of BS moments where, this is for your birthday and Christmas, right? But it didn't bother me that much. Every now and then it happened. I'll tell you what, though. I bet Jesus got super pissed.
So pissed.
Jesus' birthday is on Christmas. How pissed must he get? Because, he got all the time. Oh, here's your birthday Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Right?
I got a couple friends who have Christmas birthdays, and one friend that has a birthday one day after Christmas.
Yeah, that's too close. That's too bad because you just get one gift. Oh, this covers both holidays. We're good. We're straight.
No, you don't want to do that.
Or like the worst would be like a little dummy like $10 gift card for the birthday and then like another gift for Christmas, right? Yeah, you need two full whole hog gifts. Yeah. By the way, I tragedy here. I made gifts for this holiday for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It went bad. I made this apple shrub. It went bad.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
It went bad. No. I made a bunch of weed cookies too because I stopped smoking pot. I made a bunch of pot cookies to give to our friends.
All right.
Because I don't care. I stopped smoking. I've recently given up pot. And I have all this pot, so I made a bunch of pot cookies to give to friends.
I have a better idea.
Go ahead.
For our callers.
Yeah.
In addition to your terrible holiday party stories, please give us your terrible holiday party stories while on pot cookies.
Yo, that's a bad idea. That could spiral out of control.
I know we have some folks that have been there.
I know we have folks who have been there. We're also talking about the Republicans and their attacks on President Obama. President Obama went to the Counterterrorism Center just outside of D.C. yesterday and said, we're constantly surveying, we're constantly watching, we're constantly, quote, upping our game. Let's play that upping our game clip.
Just as the threat evolves, so do we. We're constantly adapting, constantly improving, upping our game, getting better.
Yeah. And he's right? But the problem here is that so many of the tools that can be used to stop the kind of attacks that we're seeing here at home are seeing pushback from Republicans. The president made an excellent case for gun control when he spoke from the Oval Office on Sunday, a couple Sundays ago. He made an excellent case and saying, look, we can't be having people on the no-fly list having guns. We can't be having people who might be suspected of terror activity having guns. It's just not something that we can do. We need to shut down the sale and find better limits on people getting semi-automatic weapons. It's common sense. The type of terror that we're going to see in this country, this has always been a problem, especially with Republicans. They think that another plane is going to fly into another large building, and that's how we're going to be attacked. That's not how we're going to be attacked. It will be here at home with guns. You want to know why? Because we allow just about anybody to get a friggin' gun. But it only becomes a problem when those people are Muslim, like what happened in San Bernardino. Republicans on the debate, this drove me up a wall when they said, the president hasn't kept us safe. President hasn't kept us safe. If that's your criteria, you've got to bring in the fact that there was a Planned Parenthood center that was shot up in Colorado in the name of someone who disagreed with what they do. Why not talk about that? Why not talk about that kind of terrorism? Because he's a white man. Kevin, calling in Chicago, called 866-55-PRESS, 866-557-7377. Hey now, Kevin.
Hey, Peter, how you doing? Yeah, it's real simple. I mean, Ray Charles could see this. It's homegrown American Christian terrorism.
Yeah.
And, of course, when you're trying to court the crazy Christian vote, you can't make that point. Just like you can't do the no-fly zone deal when you're courting all the NRA gun crazies. Okay, the real thing here, Peter, the hypocrisy is if there was any other situation in the Denver deal, they shot a cop. They killed a cop.
They killed a police officer.
The people that made that video, if it was any other situation, they would be held as accessories to murder, as would Carly Fiorito for going out there and inciting this in public. The guy referenced this video. That's an accessory to murder of a police officer. Why?
That's a real argument, Kevin. That's a real argument, and I'm just not going to get into that right now. I don't disagree, but I think that the better, clearer point here is this guy in Colorado killed a police officer, as you mentioned. This guy got a gun, killed people here at home. They both did it legally, the one in Colorado, the one in San Bernardino, both legally obtained guns. Both took their ideology and use guns to help spread and scare people into their ideology. What's the difference? Why can't we sit and really have a conversation about guns on the GOP debate stage? It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm taking your calls on that at 866-55-PRESS. Feel free to call in on that. I've also kept the phone lines open for your worst day drinking or worst holiday party stories because we've got that going on today. I mentioned, by the way, Cyprian saw Star Wars. Jamie, you haven't seen Star Wars yet, have you?
No, I think I'm going to probably do that tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. I'm trying to figure out if maybe I go see it because I have tickets already to go on Sunday because we've got just a busy weekend with the kids. But I might sneak off and go see it like tonight maybe.
I'll go see it with you.
Without the kids.
I don't have anybody to see Star Wars with. I have this problem a lot.
You should go with Cyprian. He'll go again.
Yeah, he will. He would go again. He might fall asleep during it this time. I have a problem when it comes to movies is that I can never find people that will go to a movie theater with me.
Really?
People don't like going to the movies anymore.
Dude, let me tell you the greatest thing in the world, by the way. Going to the movie theater by yourself.
Yeah, it really is. But there's still a weird stigma about it.
I think I don't know that I want to go to Star Wars by myself. I think it's going to be one of those things that like collectively we're all going to walk into this thing and have a moment, right? Like I think people are just so fanatic about the movie. It's going to be fun to see it with people. Boy, but let me tell you, nothing greater than going to a movie by yourself.
Can I tell you about the...
There's no stigma, by the way.
I think it's this that does it for me. The lowest, loneliest moment in a movie theater for me was I was home on college break and decided I really wanted to go see Black Swan and had my friend Jason come with me. I guess we both wanted to see Black Swan for whatever reason. We decided to bring a 6-pack of PBR into the theater.
Hey, sure, man.
And we were the only two people in the theater at like a 10:50 showing at night.
Ooh.
Just like rolling PBR empties down the theater floor. I don't think I'll ever see Black Swan again.
That's a low. But I'm telling you, we work early schedules. We get to go see movies at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
And this is perfect for Star Wars.
Oh, my God. I do it all the time.
Tonight, we'll go after this lunch.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea, actually. I might do that. We might do that. But then I'm going. But then I'm all. The last time I saw a movie twice in the theaters was Guardians of the Galaxy. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy twice.
The last movie I would have wanted to see twice would have been Mad Max.
That is a movie worth seeing twice in the theater.
Yeah.
I saw Guardians of the Galaxy twice. I'm sure I'll see Star Wars twice. I'm positive.
Are we going to get to the year-end lists at the next week? Probably, right? We'll get to the year-end list.
I'm going to talk about some of it today. Okay. I'm going to ask you a little bit later on your favorite movie of the year, your favorite album of the year. Yeah. So be ready for it. I already know mine. I already know your answers, but we'll have that conversation on air. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit more Star Wars coming up because it is open, right? We're going to take a quick break. I also see some calls. Maybe we'll get you on here. 866-55-PRESS, 866-557-7377. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press. Want to hear from you. Give us a call.
Follow us on Twitter @BP Show. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends, a little time out here to talk about Free Speech TV. You know what they say. You've heard me say it before. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and there's no such thing as Free Speech TV either. Well, yes, there is. I mean, it is free to you, and what a deal. What a great deal every day, 24/7. The best progressive programming you can find anywhere, with starting out with our show with Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and all the rest, Amy Goodman. And all of that coming out to you with the only progressive TV channel in this country that you can depend on day in and day out to bring you the news of the day and the progressive slant on the news of the day and give you a chance to express your opinions. Yes, all of that is free to you, but of course, you know, it costs to get that out, to get us out to you, for us to join you every day, and that's where we depend on your help. And again, ask for your help at this time of the year. I told you before, and it's true, we just could not do it without you. Free Speech TV gets no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money. We don't charge guests to be on the show. We don't charge anybody to be on the show. We just depend entirely on you. You are part of the team, and the important part of the team that keep us together every single day. So once again, at this time of the year, whether it's your Merry Christmas gift or your Happy Hanukkah gift, or just make a tax-free contribution at the end of the year to lower your taxes kind of gift, whatever your motive, we hope it's just because you love all of us and you love this programming, and when you want to help it keep going. As a little incentive for you to dig in and help us with this December pledge drive, we want to suggest that for $30, you will get a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. We'll send out to you. For $60, Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all of your favorite hosts. For $120, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, a special charity to the Women's Bean Project, and you will get that calendar, a soup and a cornbread bundle, and 2 Bill Press Show pint glasses, a nice little package. Plus, part of that $240 will also go to Feeding America Project, the Women's Bean Project. For $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf. You know, I wear one, and so does President Clinton, by the way. And for $1,000, you get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will have a good time. We'll take you out to dinner, one of our favorite restaurants on the Hill, and you can come in the next morning here and meet all of our team. So please, help us as much as you can. Try to make $1,500 every day here on the Bill Press Show. Give us a call at 877-378-8669 and make your pledge, or just go online to freespeech.org, and let's keep this great partnership going. Thank you.
Video right now at youtube.com/TawkrTV. That's TAWKR-TV. This is The Bill Press Show.
It is The Bill Press Show. Peter Ogburn sitting in for Bill Press today. Taking your calls at 866-55-PRESS, 866-557-7377. The question here is about homegrown terror and what really matters to the Republican candidates, because they all seem to focus on San Bernardino and nothing else. 866-557-7377. Vianne from Missouri. Hi, Vianne.
Hey, Peter. How are you?
I'm doing well, my dear. We're also talking about day drinking and holiday party stories. So what's on your agenda here, Vianne?
Oh, my day drinking started with Irish coffee and Pop-Tarts before golf.
Oh, dear. What's happening in the background there? Is that your pooch?
Then we had a rain delay, and we sat in the clubhouse and drank White Russians.
Oh, no, the Caucasians.
Until the rain delay was over, and hey, by the time the rain delay was over, we were unable to drive, so we went ahead and paid our greens fees, rented carts, and drove around the golf course for the rest of the
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
And to this day, I cannot even look at a White Russian without kind of getting queasy. But I drink an Irish coffee once in a while.
Irish coffees are good. I'm with you. I can't do the White Russian. Not for the same reason you have. I just can't do the White Russian. You know who enjoys a White Russian?
Who's that?
Mr. Bill Press.
Oh, that's right. That's one of the few cocktails.
Yeah, he doesn't drink a lot of cocktails. I've seen him go Caucasian.
Indulges in.
Yeah. I've had a White Russian, I think, once in my life. It's just not for me.
I can't say. I don't think I have had a White Russian.
I don't usually go for cocktails with dairy, just in general.
Yeah, so I've had I think I got some sort of poisoning off of a rum chata shot once.
Woof. Yeah,
if you've never had rum chata, it's basically like Cinnamon Toast Crunch in a shot.
Yeah.
Which is not a good idea.
Be very wary of drinks like that, guys. Seriously. Like,
crazy.
Eggnog, acceptable because it happens like very specific time of the year, right? I drink a couple of drinks that maybe use a little bit of cream, right? Like there's a gin fizz. I like a gin fizz.
What's a gin fizz?
Like a Ramos gin fizz. Oh my God. It's a New Orleans drink they serve a lot in New Orleans. It's gin and heavy cream, and there's like rose water in it, and it's shaken really, 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 really hard. So the cream and the gin become almost like this gin milkshake.
I'm still not sold.
Or I'm going to make you one. I'm going to make you one, or we're going to go find one. I'm telling you, we should get somebody to come in studio and make us a friggin' gin fizz. Because you got to shake the hell out of it, right? And as you shake it, it becomes this tall, one. I'm good for one. You can't
like a cream soda with gin?
That's not far off. That's not far off. I'm telling you, it's delicious. But you can't drink more than one of them. It's like, it really is like drinking a milkshake. You don't want to mess with that. Other than that, though, no White Russians for me. All right. So, like, everybody's in full Star Wars fever pitch. I'm definitely going to see Star Wars. I'm definitely going to see Star Wars. And I'm definitely very, very excited to go see Star Wars. But I have to say, and maybe this is just because I'm an old man now, the marketing stuff, the hype is killing me. Am I crazy, or is it like okay to hype out about this?
I just think it's the one movie.
I get it.
Where you can go into, where marketers can go into overdrive.
Here's what I think, though. Here's what bothers me. I have no problem, because we are a country that is obsessed with commercialism. I have no problem with the movie tie-ins, right? But like, make it a natural tie-in, right? Like these car companies advertising with Star Wars. There are no cars in Star Wars. Campbell's Soup has a whole
cars in Star Wars. A New Hope, there's kind of a car.
There's not a Chrysler in Star Wars. Like if Han Solo drove a Chrysler, right? I'd be like, okay, all right, this is Han Solo car. This makes sense. Or like they're advertising Campbell's Soup, Star Wars special Star Wars flavors of Campbell's Soup. Hard pass, hardest of passes on that. What's the tie-in? It drives me nuts. Also, I'm a little over all these people who are like, "Oh, I really kind of geek out and go see Star Wars." I'm sort of a geek about going to see this nerdy thing like Star Wars, the most successful movie franchise of all time by a mile. Yeah, my tastes are a little odd. I'm just kind of into these, geeky, sort of things. Just like Star Wars, it's okay. It's okay to just like Star Wars. They're great.
As I was going through audio this morning, there's actually some contrarians already. So ABC had some audio outside the premiere in New York, and you have a couple dudes from Long Island basically saying it was all right. It wasn't that good. If you're a fan of the canon, you're a fan of the Star Wars canon, you'll understand that it's just another movie.
I mean, there is something to be said about the fact that Star Wars is just another movie. Right, like it is just a movie.
Yeah.
And when you go back and you watch the original Star Wars, they're very good movies. I mean, they're not the greatest thing ever, but it's the nostalgia factor, and I get it. Like I totally get it. It's a part of what a lot of us grew up with, right? Which is amazing that it happened when it did, and it just sort of spanned all these generations. Like my kids are way into Star Wars. They know all about the Star Wars mythology, right? So it's amazing to me in that sense that it stuck so well. But at the same time, I mean, it's just a movie, right? Like, am I wrong?
I guess. I mean, that's a valid
I'm not
point.
trying to be like wet blanket over here.
But just realize that, we are about to enter another trilogy here. You're going to have 2 more of these between now and 2019.
I can tell you how excited I was to see The Phantom Menace. Right? We were all there. Maybe you were a little too young for that. Were you?
No, I was there for
Phantom
Menace.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was so hyped and so excited, and I bought into it, and I got completely let down. And everybody seems to think, almost universally, that this new Star Wars is like it's done right. Right, like that's all I hear. We're gonna have Ann Hornaday from the Washington Post on later on. She saw it, she reviewed it, said it's just great, it's just wonderful. Everybody says it's great, but at the same time, I'm a little hesitant. I'm just a little hesitant until I see it with my own 2 eyes. 53 minutes past the hour. My name is Peter Ogburn. We're gonna take a very quick break and wrap up this hour. Stay tuned though. We've got lots of great stuff coming up. I mentioned Ann Hornaday. We also have Kate Martell from The Hill, who's going to be joining us in the studio. And then in the 8 o'clock hour, the 3rd hour of the program, it's Travis Waldron and McKay Coppins. So stay tuned. You won't want to miss another moment of the show.
Connect with The Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, it came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge. Damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30. A pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project. A little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and go on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669, or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show, 57 minutes past the hour. By the way, we're going to talk some politics with Kate Martell from The Hill, who's going to be coming in studio here in just a few moments. My favorite political story of the day. Yesterday, Donald Trump got a big endorsement from Vladimir Putin. Thanks. Vladimir Putin says, quote, he says he wants to move on to a new, more substantial relationship, a deeper relationship with Russia. How can we not welcome that? Of course we welcome that, said Vladimir Putin. And talks about Donald Trump, quote, he's a really brilliant and talented person, without any doubt. He's the absolute leader in the presidential race. Talk about two people that are perfect for each other. Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump's. Man.
You know what a dream photo op would be?
What?
Donald Trump becomes president, goes to Russia, goes bear hunting with Vladimir Putin.
Oh, my God. With their shirts off and everything?
Off.
Oh, my God. We'll talk about a lot more coming up next.
This is the Bill Press Show.
All right, friends, a little time out here again to talk about Free Speech TV and our latest pledge drive. And all I got to say is, hey, people, come on, get on the ball. Listen, you know, we're about halfway through this pledge drive already here in December. Your last chance to get that tax deduction that you're looking for, that you may need here at the end of the year, and you can do so by helping Free Speech TV. But we're about halfway through the pledge drive, and we're still lagging far behind. We've got over $200,000 we've got to raise in the next week and a half. Here on this show, remember, we've set a goal of $1,500 a day. We've been fall short of that. So really got to tell you, come on, you got to step up the game here. Get off your ass and make your pledge. Just think about it this way. Think about what a great national treasure free speech is. Think about how much you depend on us and you count on us every day to bring you not only tell you what's happening today, but to bring you the progressive slant on those issues, the truth about those issues, and to give you a chance to talk about it. Think about how much you count on that, how much it means to you, and also think about the fact that it's true, honest truth. We would not be here without you, and it's also true that we will not continue to be here without your help. We've got to make that not every pledge drive so we can keep bringing you the best programming possible every day. Ask you to consider making a pledge of at least $100, but whatever you can do, large or small, we really appreciate it, and it keeps us going. And remember, we'll come back at you with a little gift for your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge of $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and a pen set. For $60, $5 a month, guys. That's nothing. A Free Speech TV calendar with photos of all your favorite free speech hosts. $120, $10 a month for that pledge. 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses for $240. Very special. We want to help the Women's Bean Project make a contribution to them on your behalf. And then you will get a little bundle with a can of soup and a bundle of cornbread and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses, plus the, the Free Speech TV calendar as well. $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf, a work of art for you or someone you love, a rayon chenille scarf. And for $1,000, if you can do that, and you can afford it, be that generous, get yourself to Washington, and Carol and I will take you out to dinner as our guests and then invite you into the studio the next morning to meet our team here and be part of the show. We are a family, free speech family. We want you to show that you're part of this family by making your pledge today at 877-378-8669, or just go to freespeech.org. Make your pledge today. Come on, let's do it.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
Same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show, 6 minutes past the hour here on this Friday, December 18th. Clearly, I am not Bill Press. I'm Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in for Bill Press today on this Friday. It's the day of the big Bill Press Christmas Lunchtacular. I'm very excited about that. Jamie Benson is running the board. Good morning, Mr. Benson.
Good morning, sir.
Ray Rogers is screening your phone calls at 866-55-PRESS, 866-557-7377. If you call that number, the voice you hear will be that of Ray Rogers. And it looks like Cyprian has left the building. Our video operator is Monty Canceller. Cyprian was here earlier. Cyprian went to a 1:45 a.m. showing of Star Wars and then came into work. So he's going home to get a nappy nap. And we've got Monty Canceller, who is keeping us on Free Speech TV and youtube.com/TawkrTV, TAWKR TV. I'm joined now by the staff writer for The Hill, Kate Martell, a longtime friend of ours here on the show. Kate, thank you so much for coming in.
It's a pleasure to finally be here.
Yeah, right? This is fun. You can follow her on Twitter at Kate Martell. That's Kate with a C. And I want to jump into 2016 stuff, but I also want to talk about your afternoon newsletter. It's the 12:30 report, right, from The Hill. Tell me about that.
So the 12:30 report comes out at, you can guess, 12:30 p.m. And basically our thinking behind the newsletter is kind of what's going on in politics that day, what's going on in Congress, the Hill, or Congress, White House, and campaign trail. And our thinking is there's so many newsletters that come out in the morning, and they're published mostly at 6 a.m.
Yep.
And it's trying to see what stories come out then and trying to guess what's going to pop for the day. Our thinking was, why don't we have a newsletter in the middle of the day when we can already see what stories have been big and still what's coming up for the afternoon. I include live streams of any events that are still going on. I have top tweets that I find. And then I have this section at the bottom where, with fun stuff in there, I have like National Food Days. And basically understand that, yes, people need to know what's going on in politics, but they're real people. They want to know the fun stuff.
This, as a producer and as someone who consumes just way too much news, frankly, this is a great idea because we wake up and most of these start popping like while we're at work, right? So I get, guest pitch stuff and the day ahead from the Post and all this stuff. And I get the newsletter from Mike Allen. I get the Skim. I got all these things. And I just don't have the time to read them all. Right, it's just a barrage of news. So a midday one, it's like a nice little break in the middle of the day.
Exactly, and it allows for a much more normal schedule rather than if it publishes at 6 a.m. You're up at 4 and you're up until 1 a.m. So
And I've been using it to prep for the show.
There you go.
I'm so happy to hear
I thought
that.
the show's been sounding a lot better lately, Jamie. Thank you, Kate. I shouldn't be thanking Jamie. I should be thanking Kate.
Oh man!
Thank you, JB, for subscribing.
So this is your first visit to the show. You might be doing. You'll certainly be doing a lot more of our show. I don't know if you're going to be doing C-SPAN anytime soon. Dave Bratt, congressman, went on C-SPAN yesterday. Did you see this?
Yes, I saw
I'm sure you saw this. This is the danger of going on C-SPAN. Just so you know, we operate our program in an 8-second delay. So if you come on and you say naughty words, we will dump those 8 seconds. And if Jamie is awake, we won't actually let those go on air.
Jamie and Peter, you're ruining my morning. Taking my fun away.
Yeah, sorry. But so on C-SPAN yesterday, Dave Bratt goes on and somebody calls in. This is pretty great. As someone who loves this type of stuff, this is pretty great.
Glenn called in from Salt Lake City, Utah. Glenn, good morning.
Hi, good morning. My question is, since we're spending all this money, where are we getting the money from? And my second question is, if I can shit in your mouth.
Apologize for that, Congressman. Don't take that kind of language here on the Washington Journal.
The greatest. The greatest. I will never get tired of hearing those type of calls. And I know it's childish. I know it's stupid. I know it slows down the process. I don't care. I love them.
That's what makes C-SPAN so fun, too. And I don't know if you've seen the clips, but John Oliver has pointed to Steve Scully several times, calling him the most patient man in America for picking up these calls.
Yes. Like I can't even imagine. They're unscreened for the most part, and they just let them through. I love it.
And I saw someone tweet, this is what happens when you take too many calls from the independent line.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Well, Republicans could call us at 866-55-PRESS. Democrats can call us at 866-55-PRESS. And independents can also call us at 866-55-PRESS here on The Bill Press Show. So, Kate, let's talk some 2016. Sort of the topic du jour is the sort of brewing fight. Well, it's not brewing. It's sort of brewed over now between Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz. And it all seems to focus here on immigration. What are their two sides and where are they seeing the differences here?
So I think the big difference between the two of them, it all comes down to the Gang of Eight. And Marco Rubio is part of the Gang of Eight. And what people are saying is that this is, even his advisors are saying this is his biggest problem now as to how to overcome this. Now, Ted Cruz, when it comes down to it, their policies aren't that different on immigration. And it comes down to small differences. And it comes down to, I know that Ted Cruz was on Brett Bayer's show and was basically saying, look, I know what I tried to do to get rid of the Gang of Eight bill was to try to amend it. And to America, that means that he was supporting it. But to Washington people, that means that he was trying to kill it.
Right. No, it's fascinating how this is playing out. I thought there was a telling moment yesterday when Marco Rubio was saying, well, he thought that he could show some weakness on immigration sort of when they get to the general election. He's been sitting on that and didn't want the Republican voters to know about this. And so now it looks like it's coming out in the Republican primary process, which is pretty good punditry for Marco Rubio, right? Like if this whole presidency thing doesn't work out, he could easily go into that. How much does this hurt either one of them?
I'm not sure when it comes down to it that a lot of the voters are seeing the back and forth. I think like for in the debate example, they were throwing punches at each other and constant insults. But when it came down to it, it came to be a draw. I don't think that people really do care when it ends up. It's kind of a big picture. And I think the bigger difference is that Ted Cruz is kind of starting to carve out his niche in the far-right conservatives, and Marco Rubio is trying to be the GOP establishment moderate candidate, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think when it comes down to it, it's going to be how can they carve out their niches. I don't think it's going to really come down to what are the minor differences that they see on immigration.
There's an interesting sort of thing developing for Marco Rubio, right, where like he's got to figure out where he's going to win. Like he's not really in the mix in Iowa. He's not far out of the mix, but he's not really in the mix in Iowa. He looks like he's in third in the most recent polls in New Hampshire. So he might go a little while before he really sees any kind of movement. But that's really, for establishment Republicans, he's their best shot, right?
He definitely is. And I think what's interesting is I read a story a few weeks ago saying that Marco Rubio doesn't really have a good staff on the ground in New Hampshire. They don't have that many people. But I think what's interesting to note is if you look at Marco Rubio's staff, he has a lot of the big names, at least in New Hampshire, in the early states. And when it comes down to it, I think that he has the chance of going the distance, both nationally and in New Hampshire, while he's only in third in the polls. I think it's interesting to note that, yes, it's almost 8 weeks away until the New Hampshire primary, and he is well suited.
You're from New Hampshire.
I'm from New Hampshire.
I want to talk a little bit about New Hampshire because I think Iowa, they haven't had the greatest track record when it comes to who comes out of the Iowa caucuses on top, right? Last year it was Rick Santorum. Who was the year before that? Wasn't it Huckabee the year before that?
Huckabee,
it was Huckabee the year before that in 2000, or the cycle before that, So, I think we see Iowa and it's like, okay, well.
Well, there's a famous New Hampshire expression that Iowa picks corn, New Hampshire picks presidents.
Oh, nice.
And I have to admit I'm biased. I'm from New Hampshire, so I shouldn't, but
how's it looking in New Hampshire? Because I think that's when people kind of see it as getting real. Like Iowa's a big deal, but I think people really look at this getting started realistically in New Hampshire.
Well, something that's interesting to note is that people really look at what the debates are saying nationally, and they look at national polls. We actually shouldn't be looking at national polls. The state polls are actually what matter. And when I'm in New Hampshire, you don't hear people really talking about the debates. Yes, they watch the debates. Yes, they interact with the debates. When you're actually talking to New Hampshire voters, what they're actually talking about is when then they met each of these candidates. How many times have they met these candidates? What their neighbor told them last week that they heard them say at an event. It really doesn't come down to what's necessarily going on in national news. It definitely has an impact on it, but when it comes down to it, it's how many times these candidates are actually in the state.
So Ted Cruz is making a big play for Iowa. Who's making the biggest play in New Hampshire, does it look like, at this point?
Well,
or is everybody just sort of leaning in on that?
So I'd say number one, as far as NECN has a candidate tracker, New England Cable News in Boston, and it tracks how many times each candidate has been in the state. Lindsey Graham comes in at number one.
Oh, dear.
But he's polling 0% national. But number two for that is New Jersey Governor Chris Christie.
Wow.
He's kind of putting all his eggs in the New Hampshire basket, and he saw a payoff of that recently when he got a big endorsement from the New Hampshire Union leader.
Yeah. You know, the Christie thing is interesting. We should talk about him for a second because for literally months, right, I've heard just kind of people talking and rumbling about, well, Chris Christie's about to have his moment. He's going to have his breakout moment. He's going to break out from the bottom pack and really sort of make some moves. But I haven't seen it yet. I think he had a good debate the other night. But is he going to have that breakout moment? Or could it be New Hampshire?
It could be New Hampshire. I think the only problem is right now he's not competing with all of the candidates right now. He's competing with Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, and John Kasich.
Right.
And I think it's kind of make or break. It's going to only be one of those four. And when it comes down to it, he could have his breakout moment, but that means at the expense of the other three. And whether that can happen, Marco Rubio, as I said earlier, has a strong staff. He took a lot of the Mitt Romney's advisors from 2012 who were assumed to go to Jeb Bush. So when it comes down to it, I think it's kind of Christie or one of those other three.
You know, Bill was making the point earlier this week after the debate that the Republican field is actually a lot smaller than it really looks, right? There were, 9 that were on the big stage. I think we could write off all the ones on the undercard. I think you can write off Rand Paul. I think you can write off Ben Carson at this point, honestly. So I don't disagree with this, with what Bill says. He thinks it's basically now Trump, Cruz, Rubio, Jeb Bush, just because he's Jeb Bush, and maybe Chris Christie. Like, that's really the field, which I think is about right. I think that's about right. What about Donald Trump? We managed to talk about the Republican primary process, and we waited this long to talk about Donald Trump, which, frankly, I'm amazed at our restraint.
This is impressive, and I'm very proud of us.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, this is a moment. What about Donald Trump? Is he for real? Is he for real? That's the question.
If you had asked me that in the summer, I would have had a much, much different answer. But I think at this point, people have to start taking him seriously. He's not going anywhere. People kept saying it's only a summer fling. Oh, well, wait until the debates pan out and he's asked about policy questions. Wait until he can't answer things. Wait until there's a hypothetical terrorist attack. And all of these things keep happening, and nothing is hurting his candidacy right now. And when it comes down to it, now the GOP is even nervous about it. They have to plan for a brokered convention.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to talk about the brokered convention in just a second. But to focus on Trump, right? Like, I've seen way too many people say, Donald Trump has hijacked the GOP. He's hijacked the Republican Party. I don't think that's the case. I think he's more of the mirror that's being held up to the Republican Party. I'll say this. I know you're not saying this, but, Republicans for a long time have had this stereotype of being sort of racist, sort of xenophobic, not caring about the poor. And Donald Trump reinforces all of those stereotypes. So when you hear people like me and like Bill Press and people who on the left side of the issue say these things about Republicans, and yet Donald Trump is still the most popular candidate in the field, it's tough to refute that. So Republicans see that. They recognize that. They see that this is a problem. So to me, last election cycle, there were a lot of Republicans who said, oh, well, we lost because we didn't get a real conservative. Mitt Romney wasn't a real conservative. They also said that about John McCain 4 years earlier. We lost because John McCain wasn't a real conservative. So here they have the choice to get some very, very extreme conservatives. And which way are they going to go? Like, how is that going to go with the party? What's that going to do to the party?
Well, I think what's interesting to note here is that unlike the other elections, you can't pinpoint Donald Trump supporters back to a candidate from earlier elections.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in New Hampshire, I wrote a story about this a few months ago, who are Donald Trump supporters. It's a very eclectic group. They're not people that usually come out to the polls. Some of them we could hypothetically see going to Ted Cruz if Donald Trump ever does drop out. I know people have said he's a second choice. A few other people have said Ben Carson, but I don't know if that matters at this point.
Right.
But
right.
But at this point, it's just hard to say who are his supporters and like what are they going to do if he drops out. I think my guess is that they're going to span out to a lot of people. It's not necessarily going to go to one candidate, so I don't think it would necessarily change the race if he does end up dropping out.
It is funny to me how Donald Trump and Ted Cruz have just about the same ideology, right? Their same sort of stance on things. Ted Cruz just happens to say it a little more diplomatically, which isn't saying a lot because he's not the most diplomatic guy on earth. But Trump just out and says it, right? I won't allow Muslims in this country. Ted Cruz has a little bit of a more nuanced way of saying that, I think.
Well, I think what's interesting is I've been to Donald Trump rallies. I don't know if you've been to any.
I have not.
Oh, you should make a note to go to one of those while the election's still going on.
Yeah.
What's powerful about Donald Trump is he really says things in a way that people can't say them. And I think he's a very powerful speaker. And what he makes people think is that everyone in Washington is lying to them and cheating and corrupt. And he's the breath of fresh air. And he has a way of saying things that no other politician can say. But I also think that it's also made an effect on all the other candidates. It's given the other candidates kind of more freedom to say more things that they wouldn't have been able to say in past elections.
Yeah.
Because he kind of broke the ice.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very, very good point. Okay, we're right up against a break, so we're going to take a quick break. My guest is Kate Martell, staff writer for The Hill. Follow her on Twitter at Kate Martell. That's Kate with a C. And sign up for her newsletter at The Hill. It's the 1230 report. TheHill.com, I guess, is where you go to sign up for that.
TheHill.com, yes.
All right, go check that out. We'll take a very quick break, and we will switch gears and talk about Democrats when we come back.
Your progressive headquarters for the 2016 election. This is The Bill Press Show.
Okay, friends and neighbors, here we go. Second week of our December pledge drive for Free Speech TV, and we really, really, really need your help. We got a lot on our plate these days. December's a very busy time. I mean, you heard the president the other night. The president says we have to do everything we can to degrade and destroy ISIS. That's one big challenge. We've got to do everything we can to make guns not so easily accessible in this country. That's another big challenge. We've got to get all of our holiday shopping done. Oh, my God. And we've got to save Free Speech TV. That's another big challenge for December. That's why we're turning to you. And let's just get that one out of the way right now. Make your pledge today and do your bit to keep Free Speech TV going. We've got a great, great partnership. I tell you that all the time. I love being part of it. We, Stephanie and Tom and I and Amy Goodman and everybody else, we bring you all the best programming, the best guests, the best commentary that we can every single day. And you help us stay on the air by making your pledges whenever we turn to you as generously as you can and keep that. So let's keep that great partnership going. The only full-time progressive television channel in the nation today, the only free, independent, freewheeling, totally uncensored programming coming to you every day. We know you appreciate that, but we couldn't do it without you. No corporate money, no government money. You are the blood and soul of Free Speech TV. So we ask you again to dig in as generously as you can. Every single pledge, no matter how large, no matter how small, is deeply appreciated by all of us. I'll give you some idea of what you might think about for $30. Pledge of $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and a pen set. For $60, that pledge, $5 a month, a Free Speech TV calendar with pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. For $120 pledge, $10 a month, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses for $240, $20 a month. A great little package supporting the Women's Bean Project, which includes a contribution to them, plus a can of soup, a bundle of cornbread for you, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. $30 a month pledge, $360, a beautiful hand-woven, one-of-a-kind Carol Press scarf for this winter. And for $1,000, if you can afford that, get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, and we'll bring you in the next morning to meet the whole show here. We'll even get some donuts in from District Donuts and have a big party. Make your pledge today. Please go to 877-378-8669 or just go online to freespeech.org. Free Speech TV, great partnership. Let's keep it going. Make your pledge today, and thank you.
This is why you took a second job. Why you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. Why you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show, 27 minutes past the hour. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press, along with Kate Martell from The Hill, the author of the 1230 Report, her newsletter that comes out that is chock full of everything you need to know here happening in Washington, D.C. We talked a lot, Kate, about the Republicans. Let's talk very quickly about the Democrats, because it's essentially a two-person race, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. I have to say, I like Bernie a lot. I think Bernie has been very interesting. But where does Bernie go from here?
Bernie has really
We should point out, by the way, sorry to interrupt, there's a debate tomorrow night, which no one's talking about. The Democrats are having a debate on a Saturday night.
Saturday night before Christmas.
Saturday night before Christmas.
Yeah, so I think what's interesting to note about Bernie Sanders right now is he really hasn't been on the campaign trail as much as Hillary Clinton has been. Politico had a story today that out of the past 84 days, he's only on the campaign trail for 39 of those days.
Oh, jeez.
And Hillary Clinton is on the campaign trail for 55 of those days. And he's visited 9 fewer states. And that just really shows to me that, yes, he's been out there and he's been bringing some interesting ideas. He had his big speech in D.C. about democratic socialism, and he's bringing some interesting ideas to the table. But when it comes down to it, can he really overcome Hillary Clinton and her poll numbers?
If you're running like that against the powerhouse that is Hillary Clinton, yeah, it's going to be tough. All right, Kate Martell, go to thehill.com to sign up for her newsletter. Follow her on Twitter at Kate Martell. That's Kate with a C. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me.
Really, really appreciate it. All right, coming up, we're going to talk Star Wars. Stay tuned.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Neighbors, a little word about Free Speech TV. You know, it's that time of year. Our December pledge drive, very, very important before the end of the year. Your last chance to get a tax deduction for making a charitable contribution to our nonprofit Free Speech TV, and hope you take advantage of that. Come on, how much do you love us? Show me today. Let's make that $1,500 goal that we've got today. At least 15 of you with a pledge of $100 will put us over the top. And you know, I got to tell you, we've been doing this now for a couple of years now. It's the same with every pledge drive. I always start out really nice, you know, we love you, you love us, show us how much you love us, give us a contribution, help keep Free Speech TV on the air. And you know what? It never works. Same thing, we're off to a slow start again. It seems like the only way that we can get you guys to respond is we get a little testy here. I mean, come on, people, damn it. Show us how much you love us. Look, remember, Free Speech TV is built on this whole principle. It's something never seen before in the American media, okay? I mean, people who founded Free Speech TV figured, okay, if it's really true that you don't like the corporate media, and none of us do, all right, then we'll do something different, right? We won't take any government money, won't take any corporate money, won't take any Koch brothers money. And if you really like that, you will respond by digging in and keeping free speech on the air. So this is something, again, totally new, totally independent, and that's why we can be as progressive as we are 24/7, all of us on Free Speech TV. So you either like that plan, you like that principle, you like that approach, or you don't. And if you do, again, please show it by digging in and making as big a pledge as you can to keep free speech going, keep it on the air. It is so important. We depend entirely on you, and we'll help you with a little prompt maybe to make that pledge today. If you can help us with just $30 a year, we'll give you send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60 a year, this is $5 a month, a Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all your favorite hosts on it, $120 pledge, $10 a month, a Bill Press Show, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, something very special, a little bundle put together by the Women's Bean Project, including a contribution to the Bean Project, can of soup and a little bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a great, great gift for yourself or someone you love, a hand-woven scarf by my wife, Carol Press. And again, for $1,000, the big prize, you get yourself to Washington, you and a guest, Carol and I will take you out to dinner at our treat, and we'll bring you in the studio to meet the whole team the next morning. Please help as much as you can. We really, really need it. And do it today. Take advantage of this end-of-the-year opportunity to get your taxes down a little bit by helping Free Speech TV. You know how to do it? Call 877-378-8669 or go to freespeech.org. Make your pledge today as generously as you can, and thank you.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
The most valuable morning radio show, according to The Nation magazine. This is The Bill Press Show.
It is The Bill Press Show, 33 minutes past the hour. My name is Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in for Bill Press today. Look, I'm catching some heat, okay, because I said something negative about Iowa. I didn't necessarily even say something negative about Iowa. I just think that people in Iowa who take themselves so seriously about these caucus processes, man. Amy says, very first thing I hear is Peter bashing Iowa. Look, here's the deal. Last 2012, Iowa, they voted for Rick Santorum in the Iowa caucuses. 2008, Mike Huckabee won the Iowa caucuses, right? Fred Thompson was in third there. Guys, this is not serious. This is not a serious state that takes politics seriously here. Okay, right? Like that's just goofball. That's goofball. They buy into these snake oil salesmen that show up, right? That's all I'm saying, right? You could preach all the time about how Iowa's so serious about politics, but like, come on. Your last 2 presidential picks were Rick Santorum and Mike Huckabee. How's President Santorum working out for you, Iowa? Just chill. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Iowa gets so mad at me because I always bring that up. You're the ones that voted for him. My goodness. Anyway, just a little heat check there for y'all in Iowa before you come at me. It's a big day,
Careful
Jamie.
now.
It's a big day.
Huge day. Huge
Giant,
day.
Huge day. I guess yesterday was the bigger day because Star Wars came out last night. Seems like everybody I know
right, went to go see Star Wars. Half the reason you go see Star Wars on opening night is so you could tell everybody you saw Star Wars on opening night, right? Everybody's got to talk about it. You can't just go see Star Wars. You got to tell everybody about it. I'm very excited to see it. I'm going this weekend. I'm taking the kiddos. But one person who I actually genuinely do want to hear from who has seen it is Ann Hornaday. She's the film critic for the Washington Post, and we have her on the phone. Ann, good morning.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you coming on here with the B team. But I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. And I'm not going to geek out over it because, everybody loves Star Wars. It's the biggest film franchise of all time. I'm just going to ask you point blank, how's the movie?
It's good, and I'll tell you point blank, I'm not a super Star Wars geek. I sort of had managed expectations going in. I just felt like we have sets of trilogies. We have that first trilogy and the original George Lucas trilogy,
right.
And then we have those dismal prequel trilogies.
So bad.
That was really, I feel like I know those better because I was not working as a critic in the 70s and 80s. But
Sure.
then by the time the prequels came around, I had to review them, and they were so dreadful.
I am so sorry you had to do that.
Thank you, my friend.
I feel your
I
pain.
took one for the team. On that,
Thank
on
you.
those.
Yeah.
So what I was looking for with this was really just setting things to rights. I really wanted some land, some territory to be reclaimed, and I wanted a restoration, if you will, just so that the next few can kind of go, have a good foundation. And I think that's exactly what this movie does.
Oh,
and
that's so good to hear.
And it put and I also realized it put a smile on my face. It really kind of like throughout the day. I saw it on Tuesday morning, and throughout that day, I just had a nice, it made me feel good. And I think, as they say, you don't remember what people say, but you do remember how they made you feel. And I think this movie just makes you feel good.
That's so funny because you're not the first person to say that. I keep hearing people who just say, I just couldn't stop smiling through the movie. And afterwards, it just left them with this feeling of it's just great when somebody knocks it out of the park, right? When you've been given something so sort of delicate, right?
Yes.
That you actually treat it with the respect that it deserves. I don't mean to get too referential about Star Wars, but we've seen these things get butchered in the past.
You certainly have, and there's no, and it's just, and then you kind of have to set yourself up for this. Knowing that there are more to come, it just, if it hadn't been good, it would have just been, triply bad. It's like, oh God, how are we going to? But I just think Abrams has the way that he interleaved the legacy characters with the new ones that he's created. He did it just so seamlessly and so gracefully.
That's
and the new ones really work too. I mean, all of it's just a nice. It's a really nice group of characters and also actors.
Well, if I'm someone who, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who are listening who are not Star Wars fans, like maybe maybe they haven't even seen, which is hard to believe, but maybe they haven't even seen any of the Star Wars movies.
Sure.
If they just walk in cold,
yes,
are they going to love this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I won't go as far as to say love, but one of my that was another kind of a watchword for me was, can anybody, how deep into the lore do you need to be? And you don't. I mean, it really sort of, it's sort of a clean slate. I mean, they have that opening crawl, and that catches you up in terms of where everybody is and what's going on. And the Star Wars movies did have a tendency to start, in media res, in the middle of things. Like things were already underway by the time the movie started, and that crawl would kind of get you there. And so it's that same tradition. So no, I don't think you really know. I mean, I'm sure there are inside jokes and little Easter eggy type of things that that give special value to the core fans. But if you're not one of those people, I still think you could be really entertained and delighted by this one.
I will say, even when we got into the mess that were episodes 1 through 3, the crawl at the beginning with the iconic Star Wars music is still pretty cool. Like, even when we knew what we were walking into by episode 3, right? We were just like, okay, by the Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
It was like, this is not going to be good,
just make it quick, George. Make it quick.
Yeah, exactly. Just make me comfortable.
Yes, right. At that point, it's just purely palliative, right? It's
absolutely.
Just like, please, just don't make us suffer unnecessarily.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And so that's why maybe I'm still a little hesitant, maybe. I mean, I believe you, and I believe what everybody is saying about how good of it is. But I remember just the buzzkill of walking out of the Phantom Menace and being like, "Oh my god!"
I know. I honestly everybody's going to have their own reaction,
Sure.
and I'm sure, and I don't want to oversell it. I mean, it's a good movie. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a great movie. I mean, it's like let's be real here, folks. It's not. I don't think it necessarily reinvents anything in a particularly radical way or blows anything open. It just sort of, like I said, it really reestablishes some of the core values that were missing in those middle three, and it just regains some of that ground. And I think where I'm really looking for the innovation, both narratively, visually, and everything else, is in the next one.
So I want just the last thing I want to focus on are the bad guys here, because I don't want to. I seriously don't want to make all these comparisons to episodes 1 through 3 for this one. But there was a big lack of bad guys, of good bad guys in the prequels. Right. How are the bad guys in this one? Because they've made out to look pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. God forbid we should commit any spoilers in this conversation.
I know.
There are probably, I guess there would be 3, notable bad guys, and I think maybe one works better than the others, but again, I think we have now kind of seeded, I think Abrams has sort of established these players, and then we see what Rian Johnson does with them next time.
All right.
And I think that they're just good enough actors, great enough, and then I would say great actors. Then it's really all in the writing. It's like what becomes of these guys?
So really quickly, Ann, because we're at the end of the year, so I just want to ask you some of your top movies from 2015 to get away from Star Wars. What were some of your not miss movies?
Well, my first not miss is Spotlight.
Oh my God, how good is that movie?
How good is that? Now that is a great movie. I mean, I just was blown away by it. I just thought it was brilliant on every single level. And full disclosure, the Liev Schreiber plays a character, Marty Baron, who was at the Boston Globe during the time of the telling, and now is my boss.
Yeah,
so
right.
I do have a slightly personal connection to one person that's depicted in the movie, but it's just so superbly done. I just can't say enough of it. So that was my number one, and my number 2 was Love and Mercy. I don't know if you got a chance to catch up with that.
I loved that movie.
Yeah,
I really loved that movie.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of put it high in the list because it opened several months ago, and I just didn't want people to forget about it. And they can watch it now on I don't know what platforms it's available on, but I'm sure it's available on all the usuals. And so I just want people to get a chance to catch up with that because it's a really special
I'm
film.
glad you mentioned that because I'd kind of forgotten about it at the end of the year. That's a great movie.
Yeah, it is. A great performance by Paul Dano as Brian Wilson. And Elizabeth Banks, I just thought was stunning. And she plays the woman who would become his wife. Just a really touching
movie.
I loved Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that this weekend.
Just a beautiful, old-fashioned, coming-of-age story. A lot of these movies, the next one I mentioned is Carol, which is coming out on Christmas Day, but in Spotlight, Brooklyn, Carol are examples of these movies that really reverted to an relatively old-fashioned storytelling form in terms of just not a lot of flashy edits, not a lot of tricks or gimmicks. It's just they tell it straight and find a lot of artistry within that formal elegance,
Yeah, totally.
And then my number 5 was Ex Machina, another one I don't want people to forget about.
That was a very good movie.
Yeah,
I saw
really
that.
Intriguing.
That's another one I sort of forgot about. What a weird and different, creepy movie.
Creepy, weird, and with Oscar Isaac, who's now in Star Wars, so it's a chance to kind of see him. I mean, a lot of us, critics and people who like indies, he's been on our radar for quite a while now.
Yeah.
And actually Donald Gleason too. Yeah, so it's 2 Star Wars people. There you go. And Alicia Vikander, who's sort of the it girl this year, the Swedish actress. It's just a fascinating sort of weird sci-fi-ish chamber piece featuring the thrill of the 3 of them in this kind of psychological thriller.
Excellent list, Ann. I really appreciate
Thank you, sir.
You can follow her on Twitter at Ann Hornaday and read her fine work at the Washington Post. .com. All right, Ann, there you go. We're up to speed now. I'm full. I was a little not indifferent, but I wasn't just completely amped to see Star Wars. I was excited. Now I'm fully excited to go see it.
Oh, all right. Well, then I can't wait to hear what you think.
All right, Ann. Thank you so much for joining us here on the
for
Bill Press Show. Yeah. All right. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press today. Quick break. We'll be right back.
Follow us on Twitter at BP Show. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends, a little time out here to talk about Free Speech TV. You know what they say. You've heard me say it before. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and there's no such thing as Free Speech TV either. Well, yes, there is. I mean, it is free to you, and what a deal. What a great deal every day, 24/7. The best progressive programming you can find anywhere, with starting out with our show with Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and all the rest, Amy Goodman. And all of that coming out to you with the only progressive TV channel in this country that you can depend on day in and day out to bring you the news of the day and the progressive slant on the news of the day and give you a chance to express your opinions. Yes, all of that is free to you, but of course, you know, it costs to get that out, to get us out to you, for us to join you every day, and that's where we depend on your help. And again, ask for your help at this time of the year. I told you before, and it's true, we just could not do it without you. Free Speech TV gets no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money. We don't charge guests to be on the show. We don't charge anybody to be on the show. We just depend entirely on you. You are part of the team, and the important part of the team that keep us together every single day. So once again, at this time of the year, whether it's your Merry Christmas gift or your Happy Hanukkah gift, or just, make a tax-free contribution at the end of the year to lower your taxes kind of gift, whatever your motive, we hope it's just because you love all of us and you love this programming, and when you want to help it keep going. As a little incentive for you to dig in and help us with this December pledge drive, we want to suggest that for $30, you will get a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. We'll send out to you. For $60, Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all of your favorite hosts. For $120, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, a special charity to the Women's Bean Project, and you will get that calendar, a soup and a cornbread bundle, and 2 Bill Press Show pint glasses, a nice little package. Plus, part of that $240 will also go to Feeding America Project, the Women's Bean Project. For $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf. You know, I wear one, and so does President Clinton, by the way. And for $1,000, you get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will have a good time. We'll take you out to dinner. One of our favorite restaurants on the Hill, and you can come in the next morning here and meet all of our team. So please, help us as much as you can. Try to make $1,500 every day here on the Bill Press Show. Give us a call at 877-378-8669 and make your pledge, or just go online to freespeech.org, and let's keep this great partnership going. Thank you.
Seen on Free Speech TV and online on TawkrTV. This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show. 48 minutes past the hour. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press today. Jamie Benson running the board.
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite movie of 2015, Jamie?
Well, I'm going to take the opportunity to check out some of the award movies, because all the award movies come out at the end here. I still haven't seen Spotlight. I'm going to guess that's
that's right. You haven't seen Spotlight. You got to see Spotlight.
Not only am I a fan of many of the actors in the film, I'm a huge Boston Globe fan.
Sure. You'll freak out over the movie.
Yeah, whenever I go home, I buy the Boston Globe every morning.
Sure, yeah.
It's a habit. It's an old habit.
It's a good movie.
But as far as what I've seen so far, I'd say Mad Max is pretty far up there.
Mad Max is my number one.
I liked Ann Hornaday's pick of Love and Mercy. I, too,
movie.
had forgotten that as something that had come out this year. I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, nothing else I was particularly wowed about, right?
I really like Trumbo. And a lot of people, I think, and rightfully so, Trumbo is not a perfect movie, but Bryan Cranston is a perfect actor in that movie. He plays Dalton Trumbo, who was a socialist screenwriter in Hollywood who got blacklisted, and sort of how he fought back. He is utterly amazing in that movie. I think the movie's got some flaws, but I would suggest you go see it.
So I'm looking at because I just need a reference here. I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes top 100 list.
Sure.
One of the other ones that sticks out here, a documentary, the Amy Winehouse documentary. Amy,
I saw that. Great movie.
It's a different convention, documentary-wise.
Yeah.
The way they did it.
That's a sad movie.
They have so much old footage of her performing when she was a teenager in clubs, and her voice was so raw.
You watch as she was a fresh-faced teenager, right? Like before she got big, all these home movies, and you watch her just sort of disintegrate into just a husk of a human. It's sad.
So that's you can rent that now. I know that's on iTunes and all the on-demand.
It's a real optimistic movie. I know I just sold it to you.
Yeah, and also mentioned Oscar Isaac. He was in Star Wars and Ex Machina, and then also he was in A Most Violent Year, which came out at the beginning of 2015.
I didn't see that movie.
It's about I think if I remember,
he's a mob guy.
Well, he's a mob guy on the low. He sells oil. He's a mob guy only because there's a lot of other mob guys around him.
Okay,
and he's
I didn't see that movie.
Surviving with his wife in 80s New York were pretty grimy. So highly recommend that. And I want to see Straight Outta Compton.
I haven't seen that yet. I want to. Yeah, I hear it's good. It's out there. I should probably go check that out. Yeah, Mad Max is my number one, big time. I just think that like for someone to have the vision to pull off something like that and actually really treat a movie theater like it's supposed to be treated, right? Like I really liked Gravity for the same reason a couple years ago or last year or whatever.
Never saw that in theaters, and I still regret it.
I mean, it out of the theaters, it's an okay movie. In theaters, it's amazing, right? Like it's someone who has this giant canvas and they really just utilize every aspect of what they've been given. I think that to me is what Mad Max did. The sound on Mad Max, the cinematography, all that was just like, you got to see this on the big screen.
As of right now, Mad Max does rank at number one on Rotten Tomatoes lists.
It's going to be weird to see because Mad Max is
97%.
a full throttle action freak out movie. Yeah. Right? I mean, there's a lot of other stuff going on, obviously, but like...
It's also hard to explain to people, so...
Yeah, but if it gets into like Oscar contention, real serious Oscar contention, which I hope it does...
It'll be for the stylistic stuff, right? It'll be the editing, it'll be the sound, it'll maybe see like sets, who knows?
This Oscar Isaac character that she was talking about, this guy is about to have, I think...
Huge.
Explode, right? Because he's in Star Wars... Right, this is going to be a big deal. He's also the lead bad guy in the new X-Men movie. Have you seen this X-Men trailer?
I didn't know that, no.
Boy, oh boy. This X-Men trailer, I watched it, literally melted my face off. This is a new face.
I'm sorry, too many X-Men movies, though.
Get out of here.
Well,
what are you talking about, too many X-Men movies?
What are you, an X-Men, like, truther, defender? What's going on
I think
over
X-Men
here?
is fantastic. I don't think they put out a bad movie. No, come on. This reboot with, first of all, Michael Fassbender as Magneto all day long. I'm here for that. But the reboot where they got the younger X-Men and it's the whole thing, it's great. It's great. I love it.
What I'm saying is there's like 6 Wolverine movies alone.
All right, now pause, because we're not talking about Wolverine movies. We're talking about just the X-Men movies. The Wolverine movies are good. They're not great. The X-Men movies are fantastic, except for that one that Brett Ratner did, which was hot garbage.
The Bill Press Show, where Peter Ogburn vehemently defends the X-Men
I
franchise.
will nerd out on X-Men movies, by the way. Like I know people would nerd out on Star Wars, right? I'll nerd out on X-Men because it's my favorite comic book ever.
Could you compare each one of the characters to today's politicians?
Oh boy. You give me a little time
we should
and I
play
can.
that game.
You give me a little time and I will. In fact, I'm going to do that during the break. All right, 53 minutes past the hour. My name is Peter Ogburn. Stay tuned. I'm going to compare the presidential candidates to X-Men, as J.B. Benson has challenged me to do. Stay tuned. A lot more coming up.
Get social with Bill Press. Like us at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, they came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, like a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and I'm so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and come on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669 or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
This is the Bill Press Show.
All right, so I think I got this figured out. The X-Men compared to the presidential candidates of 2016. I didn't do all of them. But Hillary Clinton, are you with me, Jamie? Well, first of all, by the way, shout out to this guy who tweeted at me, "Geez, Peter, grow up. X-Men? Really?" That tweet came from @CoolDad2. Thank you for your critique. Thank you for your critique. Here's what I got. Hillary Clinton, Professor X, right? What do you mean, no?
Oh, I got a Monty, no.
I got Monty in here, no. Bernie, I'd stretch a little bit. I said Bernie is Deadpool, right? Because he's independent, right? He does his own thing. Or Bernie could be Wolverine. Bernie's Wolverine. I'm changing that. Bernie's Wolverine.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is Beast, completely unhinged, totally uncontrollable. Ted Cruz is Nightcrawler because they're both complete creeps. Chris Christie is the Blob. Sorry. That's a real one. Jeb is Cyclops, just boring. Boring, but has like some power. And Marco Rubio is Jubilee, like the worst X-Men ever. She just shoots fireworks from her hands.
That's it?
That's it. I'm happy with that list.
Good work.
Thank you.
Under a
Jay.
minute.
Thank you. Rose to the challenge.
Is the Bill Press Show.
I'm a Piston fan. Their slogan was, "We come to work." That's what Detroit about. That's why they used it. It's a team thing. They won 2 championships, a team. There was no star. No mayor can come in here and be a star. It's a team thing. No governor should come in here and think you can do it by yourself. It's a team thing. You got communities. They got ideas, too. The only thing wrong with Detroit, people have lost hope here. Residents, city workers, so much corruption. They lose hope. But I grew up here. I love this city. I think it can come back. Been working for the city 24 and a half years. Within the last 10 years, we've took 4 pay cuts. And then an additional 10% wage cut. I've lost a home.
When you take all of the decisions out of the city of Detroit, all of us, then what do you have? Exactly what we got. A lot of problems. Every time the city seems to fall into a problem, it's always on the backs of us workers.
You wake up out of a dead sleep and you jump behind the wheel and take off driving and try to get everybody there safe, not knowing really what you're pulling up to. I'm not eligible for Social Security, so the pension is my sole salary at this point.
We've been in business here 39 years. We've seen a lot of changes in Detroit. The area was a lot of industry, a lot of city workers. It's getting very tough for the city workers. It's getting tough for us as a business people.
Response times are increasing because of the closing of companies, which takes your insurance rate through the roof. So all the things that affect us affect the citizens.
I worked for the city in different capacities for 29 years. I feel like an old jacket. They use me up and they throw me away. In my condition, nobody's gonna hire me. I'm 68 years old. Half the times, I can't get my blood pressure medicine. It's either feeding myself, blood pressure, or paying bills.
$754. By the time they take all the deductions for I have my car insurance, my house insurance, and my health insurance taken out. So the time they take all that, I'll get about $300 after they take all that out. I don't understand it. I can't see how the governor's allowing this to happen and what they're doing and they want to blame it all on the seniors. Not only the seniors, but the city workers. And we worked hard. I know I worked hard.
I've been in Detroit since 1946. I was 14 years old when I came in. I don't live large at all. I wish I could. I don't know when the last time I've been shopping. I only get $1,100, and I'm 81 years old, and I need every penny that I can get and that I do get. And I'm very, very upset about the idea of them taking away my pensions that I worked 30 years for.
I think it's terrible that they talk about Detroit like they do, because Detroit has been very good to me.
I have a lot of city workers coming in with their uniforms on, Detroit Water Department, Police Department, Fire Department. I get a lot of people, the Border Patrol come in. So if I lose that customer base, I'm going to be in a position where I might have to close down. If they take away their pensions, if they start cutting jobs, it's going to cut into a large percentage of not only our business, but other businesses that are in the city of Detroit. We're here. We've been here for 26 years. We're still trying to do business in the city.
Detroiters are survivors. They tough, they adapt, but only can do so much when your politicians are ahead of you and we're not on the same team. We're not gonna let Detroit be erased, bulldozed to where we're gonna fight to the bitter end. Detroit gonna survive.
Just this month, my bill was like $138.
Even at one phone call a week cost me $40 to $50 every month.
I am living on a fixed income of SSI, so this is really a great hardship. Families are being punished. When they incarcerate your children, they incarcerate the whole family.
In 2011, the Media Action Grassroots Network, Working Narratives, and Prison Legal News founded the Campaign for Prison Phone Justice, an effort to call on the FCC to address the cost of interstate phone calls. The campaign mobilized prisoners to send hundreds of letters. Advocates and families filled out postcards, met with elected officials, and signed petitions. Partnerships were formed across the political spectrum and with groups in the criminal justice, civil rights, and public interest community. The film distribution company Participant Media and director Ava DuVernay joined the fight through a social action campaign tied to the release of the feature film Middle of Nowhere. In an effort to push the FCC to act, the campaign hosted a historic rally outside of the Federal Communications Commission where for the first time, families of prisoners, elected officials, civil rights and faith leaders came together to call for an end to predatory phone rates.
We're all held captive when predatory phone companies gouge our families.
My son has been incarcerated now for over 10 years, and my husband estimates that in the time we spent over $25,000 on prison phone calls.
My hero's not yours, you probably arrested them. Your schools probably neglected them. They spawn thoughts, you probably infected them. Feed us what you feed us, you can lay us next to them. FBI call it major crimes. Babies making babies cry.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show here on this Friday, December 18th. Friday. It's the day of the big Bill Press Holiday Lunch-tacular. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press today. I'm joined in studio by Travis Waldron, sports reporter for the Huffington Post. Travis, thank you for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me.
So many sports to talk about.
So many. All the sports.
All the sports. Running the board today is Jamie Benson. Screening our calls at 866-55-PRESS is Ray Rogers. She's standing by. And keeping us on video is Monty Kanzler. Cyprian was here earlier. He went and saw the 1:45 a.m. showing of Star Wars, and then had to have Monty come in and back him up because he was just too tired. He had too much last night.
Sacrifices.
So today is the big day of the Bill Press Holiday Lunch-tacular, right? And we've been doing this for 10 years. And in the 10 years that we've done it, we had one producer go to jail who is no longer with us. We had another producer who drank so much that I had to literally pick him up and throw him into the back of a cab so that he could come back here and do more work. And in the process, he tripped and fell and bashed his skull into the column that we have just outside of the studio, put a giant hole in it.
Y'all got to be careful.
So
Travis, do you think I should wear a straitjacket to this lunch?
I think you should not go. I'm worried about you, Jamie.
I am not sure where Jamie is going to go with this, right? Because Jamie has heard these cautionary tales, but yet Jamie is also, he should enjoy himself and have a good time at the holiday party.
Stay away from the liquor, Jamie.
I can't do that. It's a holiday party.
Here's the thing. Normally, these people who've gotten in so much trouble did it because they were trying to keep up with me, trying to drink. This is not a good idea. This year, I'm not drinking. I've given up. I'm gonna have a drink. I told Jamie. My doctor said I can have one.
That's what they always say.
As long as it's just hard liquor, right? Can't do anything else.
That's what they always say.
A little Bourbon,
just one drink.
Just one
and
drink.
Then
I'm just
more.
a little thirsty.
And then one more.
Jamie, make sure I only have one drink today. No matter what I say.
And then the next thing you know, Jamie's picking you up and throwing you in a cab.
Has yet to happen.
That's usually what happens. If you take the role of being the guy that's going to put the other guy in check, usually the guy that's trying to keep you in check is actually going to be the one that ends up on the floor at the end of the night.
That's true.
So either way, I'm going to lose here.
Look, I will maybe take care of you if you get too drunk, but if history is any indication,
exactly. Yeah, I don't trust you one bit. So
I will leave you for dead. And go about my business. That's just how we do things here. I'm sorry, you're a nice guy.
I got kids at home.
I got kids at
home.
I got kids at home. I got other things I got to worry about than you getting too drunk to find your way home. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. By the way, I'm not really on the whole Snapchat thing. I don't do the whole Snapchat thing. Jamie, you're a big Snapchatter.
I enjoy Snapchat.
Do you follow DJ Khaled?
I'm downloading. I'm gonna download it solely for DJ Khaled.
All right, I was gonna say if anything
I was kind of
brings me
ignoring
around,
it. I was kind of ignoring it until the Lost at Sea on a jet
This is
ski
where
in
we
the
get-
middle of the night.
Yeah, like I will maybe do that just to follow DJ Khaled because he got on a jet ski and went out for a little night ride on a
To
jet
Rick
ski
Ross's house.
To Rick Ross's house.
But wait, let's preface this.
Go ahead, Jay.
So
I'll let you
DJ
set it up
Khaled,
for me.
DJ Khaled is he calls himself a producer and a DJ. He is really neither. He's
shady.
I'm not trying to like cut him down here, but he's just a hype man, basically.
I'm
He's
not
a
trying to
glorified
cut him
hype
down.
man.
I'm not trying to cut him down as I cut him down.
Yeah.
But he's incredibly entertaining, okay?
Yes.
And that's where I give him his credit fully. He's been using Snapchat for a couple weeks now, anything from watering his plants at his Miami mansion to having a fight with his wife and then making up at the end of it. And he's just his whole thing in life now is just motivating other people.
Yeah.
He's not even putting out music anymore.
I watched a video of him Snapchatting, and he's at some concert, like on the side of the stage, and he's this all the time, like constant movement with his phone in front of his face. So he's Snapchatting all this stuff. So he went on a jet ski ride. And he got super lost.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night. It's pitch black out. And he is on a jet ski with his phone, Snapchatting the hell out of it. And this is what it's like. If you're following him on Snapchat, this is what it sounded like.
In a minute, there ain't gonna be no lights to navigate us to where we need to go. I'm gonna check in with y'all. The key is to make it. The key is to make it. It's so dark out here. We don't know where the hell we at, but the key is to make it.
Key is to make it.
Please never give up. It's not easy to win. The key is not to drive your jet ski in the dark. This is against the law, not even just that.
Not even just that.
This ain't right. God is good.
He made it.
We made it.
Listen to him. He's winded.
I love
weary.
the idea of I'm lost on my jet ski at night, so the first thing I need to do is start Snapchatting.
that. Get that on Snapchat. Oh, my God. I love it. All right. We've got so many things to talk about with Travis Waldron. We're going to get to all those in just a moment. But first, look at this guy.
Full court press.
Coming in hot with a full court press.
Just a couple of other stories for you on this Friday morning. And since we have a sports reporter in studio, I will start with two sports stories beginning in the National Football League. Yes, it was another week of Thursday night football. This one did not really seem to be an exciting contest going in, but there's a storyline beneath it. The St. Louis Rams hosted what could have been their final home game in St. Louis.
That's right.
Tomorrow there'll be a key alderman's meeting on Friday that could determine the future of the Rams. They may be headed to L.A. But the St. Louis Rams put on a show for their loyal fans there in Missouri, defeating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-23. Neither of these teams, I guess the Bucs have a somewhat of a distant chance of making the playoffs statistically.
Not gonna happen.
maybe, but
Travis is shutting that down.
If you are not from St. Louis or Tampa and you watched Rams Bucks on a Thursday night, if that's what you did, email me. I want to know why.
There's a story there.
in those terrible jerseys too. They have
Right.
those,
Jerseys were
those
awful.
all-color
I want
jerseys
to know why.
in the NFL. All right, heading over to the National Basketball Association, Cleveland Cavaliers guard Iman Shumpert made some news off the court the other day.
How about this?
The birth of his infant daughter on the floor of his bathroom. So Iman Shumpert is dating Tiana Taylor, who is a singer-rapper that works with Kanye West frequently. Iman Taylor Shumpert Jr. was born at 6:42 a.m. Taylor has nicknamed her Junie. Tiana Taylor wrote that she did not realize she was in labor until she could feel the baby's head.
Oh, my goodness.
She said Shumpert used the cord from a pair of headphones to tie off the umbilical cord as the couple waited for the ambulance to arrive minutes later.
Was that a Beats advertisement?
Were these beats that LeBron gave to the Cavaliers? LeBron James delivered the table.
Let me
the
get
baby
my
by proxy.
headphones to tie this off. Oh, my God.
My goodness. So, anyway.
That's great. No,
That's a good
for him.
off-the-court story,
Yeah,
though.
no, I like that. I like that.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Finally, shout out to Ray Rogers for bringing me this one. This is in the New York Times this morning, or actually this is from just a couple of days ago. But the first micro apartments are coming to New York City. Just a couple of weeks ago, leasing began at Carmel Place, which is the city's first micro-unit development. Micro-apartments are big in other countries, specifically in Europe, obviously, and in Asia. Micro-apartments, would you live in one? They're very tiny.
Nope.
No,
Alternate headline, New Yorkers find out that their apartments can get smaller.
Yeah, right. I mean, can you imagine?
It's just more stylish
no,
now.
No thanks, man. I'm not going to live in a small apartment. That's why I don't live in D.C. I need room. I need room to move around.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know.
I mean, I have kids and everything. I mean, it's the whole thing. You've been to my place, Travis.
Yes,
you know,
it's nice.
I one of these tiny
And a room
apartments.
for the fish tank.
So many fish tanks. Oh boy, do we have fish tanks in my house? Ugh. And the big dog and everything. It's a micro apartment. It just ain't gonna work for me. Sorry, it's not gonna happen. But it's interesting, I guess, if you need another option. All right, I want to talk about because we talked about the NFL there for a little bit. I'll talk about concussion. We've talked to you a little bit about concussion before, but we're getting close. It's about to come out. It just keeps looking better and better the more trailers and the more footage I see from. They put out a new trailer since we last talked. It looks really, really good. And I'm not a Will, like I won't go out of my way to see a Will Smith movie. I'm going to go out of my way to see this for sure. But of course the question here is, and of course this is the story of the doctor who discovered the brain trauma that football players suffer from repeated head injuries, is whether or not the NFL is going to take notice and what they're going to do about it. And so where does this movie fit into that argument and that fight?
Well, it depends. I think it's interesting. I think what's interesting right now is what the players see.
Yeah.
And how the players react to it. I think we've seen former players who've said this movie kind of moved them a little bit. And I think really that's the big question I have is do current players see this and say, whoa? I think the NFL was probably more concerned at first with the documentary that came out a couple of years ago, which detailed a lot of this stuff in documentary form. And, concussion has the chance, though, to put it in the kind of drama sphere where now it's on the big screen for real. I don't think the NFL is going to make some concerted effort against the movie, but I do think the reaction will be interesting because it is a major issue.
One of the things I think has been really interesting is, Adam Schefter, who's a big NFL insider, said that, he doesn't think people need to go see the movie. He sort of got out and said, I don't think that people need to go see it. He acknowledged
He said they should go see the documentary.
Yeah, he did give credit to that documentary. Danny Cannell, the ESPN college football analyst, I want to get into this with you because this is I find really, really interesting. He says that there's a war on football.
It's nonsense.
I agree, right?
It's nonsense.
He thinks that all this is propaganda to try and get us to stop playing football.
There's a war on brain injuries and ignoring them and not treating them the right way, particularly when it comes to children. It's not. I think that the lens on this from the NFL perspective, at least mine when I report on it, is the NFL has so much power, and the NFL is football in this country. But there's so many levels below that where we don't know what the effects of these injuries are on children, and we don't know exactly what the risks are for children. We know there are risks. We don't know exactly what they are or how risky it is, and we need to find that out. To the extent that there is a war on football, it is an effort to figure out what this game is and whether it's safe. And, Danny Cannell in those comments later on said a bunch of things. Why aren't people asking these questions about soccer? Why aren't people asking these questions about cheerleading? People have been asking these questions about soccer and cheerleading for a decade.
Yes, absolutely.
Like soccer, I'm a big soccer fan. MLS, English League, all this stuff. They've been talking about it. Their concussion protocols have been under scrutiny. U.S. Soccer just struck an agreement in a lawsuit to ban headers for players under age 11. It's not just football. Football is the lens through which we view it.
Yeah.
Because football is so big in this country. But the NHL is facing a lawsuit from former players right now. The idea that it's a war on football, and I love that he used the common buzzword phrase, liberal media.
Yeah. Wasn't that just perfect.
Yes, it was just like I think I responded to his tweet with like, "This could win hot take bingo," because it was like every like war on football, liberal media, like conspiracy.
Hit them all, man. Check them all.
You know, it was a ridiculous statement.
Yeah.
I think there were kernels of truth in what he was trying to convey, in that, sure, there are some things we don't know. Yeah. I think that should also be scary to people.
But I think the big picture here is, I think you hit the nail on the head. There's not a war on football. There's a war on brain injury. And if the NFL continues and to sort of ignore it and not address it, and being the biggest perpetrators of this, or at least have the biggest fan base of people that this could be addressed to, then yeah, there is going to be a war on figuring this out. And
Right.
it sure should be.
And I think to an extent the NFL realizes that. I think there's a reason why they're pouring all of this money into research.
Yeah.
Now, whether you should trust that research or not, who knows?
Yeah.
Because their research in the past went a long way to covering things up.
Right.
But, you know, I think, sure, there are people asking questions of football that they've never asked before. That's good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a bad thing. That's a we want to protect our kids kind of thing.
Yeah. While we're talking football, let's move to college, because we're coming up on the college football playoff. Everyone knows I'm a really big Alabama fan.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul. I love
They put
University
that
of Alabama
Scam
football.
Newton jersey on the Bears statue.
University of Alabama
And
is
I went down there
playing.
and poisoned them trees.
God, the Paul Feinbaum show is amazing when he takes calls.
best.
It's the best sports radio there.
No offense, I root for Alabama to lose.
That's fair.
Because those are the best Paul
Those are the best-
Feinbaum show days.
Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with you there. So we've got Clemson, we've got Oklahoma, we've got Alabama, we got Michigan State. These are the final four, if you will, of college football. How's this going to play out, do you think?
I don't know. Clemson is the big question mark, I think, because I like this Clemson team. They're a good team. They've got some good wins, but they're Clemson.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to get over that mentality of Clemson always seems to find a way to screw it up when it matters. I mean, there's a reason there's a term Clemsoning. And I think the Alabama is Alabama.
Yeah.
They're kind of like the college football Patriots. You know, you're shocked when they lose.
Right.
But I really like this Oklahoma team.
Oklahoma legit
I really
terrifies me as an
like
Alabama
Oklahoma. I think the way they've played, the way they finished off the season with wins over Baylor, TCU, and then the demolition of Oklahoma State.
Dude.
They are. If I were an Alabama fan, I'd be a little wary of this one.
I am
Because
legit terrified.
I think everybody that's kind of a casual observer sees Alabama and they say, "Oh, it's Alabama. They don't lose. They have Derrick Henry."
Yeah.
But this Oklahoma team's tough.
Yeah, they for real scare me. Okay, we got to jump to a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk some very quick NBA stuff. Travis Waldron is our guest. He's a sports reporter for the Huffington Post. Follow him on Twitter at Travis_Waldron. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill. We'll be right back.
Connect with The Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is The Bill Press Show.
Okay, friends and neighbors, here we go. Second week of our December pledge drive for Free Speech TV, and we really, really, really need your help. We got a lot on our plate these days. December's a very busy time. I mean, you heard the president the other night. The president says we have to do everything we can to degrade and destroy ISIS. That's one big challenge. We've got to do everything we can to make guns not so easily accessible in this country. That's another big challenge. We've got to get all of our holiday shopping done. Oh, my God. And we've got to save Free Speech TV. That's another big challenge for December. That's why we're turning to you. And let's just get that one out of the way right now. Make your pledge today and do your bit to keep Free Speech TV going. We've got a great, great partnership. I tell you that all the time. I love being part of it. We, Stephanie and Tom and I and Amy Goodman, everybody else, we bring you all the best programming, the best guests, the best commentary that we can every single day. And you help us stay on the air by making your pledges whenever we turn to you. as generously as you can and keep that. So let's keep that great partnership going. The only full-time progressive television channel in the nation today, the only free, independent, freewheeling, totally uncensored programming coming to you every day. We know you appreciate that, but we couldn't do it without you. No corporate money, no government money. You are the blood and soul of Free Speech TV. So we ask you again to dig in as generously as you can. Every single pledge, no matter how large, no matter how small, is deeply appreciated by all of us. I'll give you some idea of what you might think about for $30. Pledge of $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and a pen set. For $60, that pledge, $5 a month, a Free Speech TV calendar with pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. For $120 pledge, $10 a month, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, $20 a month, a great little package supporting the Women's Bean Project, which includes a contribution to them, plus a can of soup, a bundle of cornbread for you, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. $30 a month pledge, $360, a beautiful hand-woven, one-of-a-kind Carol Press scarf for this winter. And for $1,000, if you can afford that, get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, and we'll bring you in the next morning to meet the whole show here. We'll even get some donuts in from District Donuts and have a big party. Make your pledge today. Please go to 877-378-8669 or just go online to freespeech.org. Free Speech TV, great partnership. Let's keep it going. Make your pledge today, and thank you.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Bill Press Show. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill, along with sports reporter for the Huffington Post, Travis Waldron. We talked some football earlier. Let's talk some basketball, because Christmas is coming up.
Best day of the year.
I love Christmas Day basketball.
Best day of the season.
We're going to get to see a lot of good players on Christmas.
All of them.
Like
Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, LeBron, and some dude named Steph Curry.
Some guy.
I've heard he's okay.
How good are the Warriors at this point, even though they lost a game?
They're amazing.
They lost a game.
They're amazing. But I think one of the other teams, and we were talking about this just a minute ago, one of the other teams on Christmas Day, the San Antonio Spurs, are right there.
Yeah.
I think the Warriors have gotten all the headlines, and for great reason. I'm not dissing on them at all. But San Antonio's been really good. And Kawhi Leonard has emerged as kind of a stalwart in that team in a way that, they needed that.
Exactly.
They needed that. And they're playing a little bit different this year.
They are playing a lot different. Yeah.
LaMarcus Aldridge just kind of settled in.
Yep. Yeah, they're fun to watch. They're fun to watch in a different way than the Warriors, but they are fun to watch.
Everyone talks in this country about Thanksgiving football. Watch basketball on Christmas, people.
I love it.
It's the best.
Travis Waldron. Follow him on Twitter at Travis_Waldron. Read his good work and hear his podcast at HuffingtonPost.com. Thanks, Travis.
Thank you.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Neighbors, a little word about Free Speech TV. It's that time of year. Our December pledge drive, very, very important before the end of the year. Your last chance to get a tax deduction for making a charitable contribution to our nonprofit Free Speech TV, and hope you take advantage of that. Come on, how much do you love us? Show me today. Let's make that $1,500 goal that we've got today. At least 15 of you with a pledge of $100 will put us over the top. And, I got to tell you, we've been doing this now a couple of years now. It's the same with every pledge drive. I always start out really nice, we love you, you love us, show us how much you love us, give us a contribution, help keep Free Speech TV on the air. And you know what? It never works. Same thing, we're off to a slow start again. It seems like the only way that we can get you guys to respond is we get a little testy here. I mean, come on, people, damn it. Show us how much you love us. Look, remember, Free Speech TV is built on this whole principle. It's something never seen before in the American media, okay? I mean, people who founded Free Speech TV figured, okay, if it's really true that you don't like the corporate media, and none of us do, all right, then we'll do something different, right? We won't take any government money, won't take any corporate money, won't take any Koch brothers money. And if you really like that, you will respond by digging in and keeping free speech on the air. So this is something, again, totally new, totally independent, and that's why we can be as progressive as we are 24/7, all of us on Free Speech TV. So you either like that plan, you like that principle, you like that approach, or you don't. And if you do, again, please show it by digging in and making a big a pledge as you can to keep free speech going, keep it on the air. It is so important. We depend entirely on you, and we'll help you with a little prompt maybe to make that pledge today. If you can help us with just $30 a year, we'll give you send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60 a year, this is $5 a month. A Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. $120 pledge, $10 a month. A Bill Press Show, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, something very special, a little bundle put together by the Women's Bean Project, including a contribution to the Bean Project, can of soup, and a little bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a great, great gift for yourself or someone you love, a hand-woven scarf by my wife, Carol Press. And again, for $1,000, the big prize, you get yourself to Washington. You and a guest, Carol and I will take you out to dinner at our treat, and we'll bring you in the studio to meet the whole team the next morning. Please help as much as you can. We really, really need it. And do it today. Take advantage of this end-of-the-year opportunity to get your taxes down a little bit by helping Free Speech TV. You know how to do it. Call 877-378-8669 or go to freespeech.org. Make your pledge today as generously as you can, and thank you.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
Help keep all the presidential candidates straight with your progressive headquarters for the 2016 election. This is The Bill Press Show.
Yes, indeed, it is The Bill Press Show. 33 minutes past the hour here on this Friday, December 18th. It's the day of the Bill Press Show holiday lunchtacular. So we're all very anxious to wrap up the show and get our party on, of course. I am very excited. Jamie, this will be your very first Christmas party.
I'm going to get a breakfast sandwich in me first.
Here's what you need to do if you're going to go out lunch day drinking with the Bill Press Show is you need to go ahead and lay that base down, because we've done the show, we've done the party for 10 years. This will be our 11th year. And out of those years, 1 year we had a producer go to jail who got arrested. True story. And another year we had a producer get so liquored up that he came back and actually caused major destruction to the studio because he tripped and fell and just bashed his head in.
You've reminded me of this 5 times this morning.
I just want to let you know that there's a certain standard that we expect at the holiday lunch-tacular. I will not be drinking. I might have a drink, but I will not be drinking.
Mr. Above the Fray.
I've recently become somewhat sober. So I've given up drugs and alcohol, and I'm going to have just maybe a little taste. Just a little wine or something. Come on. It's a holiday party.
Spritzer.
Yeah. A little, like a little Aperol spritzer or something, right? Just to get things going. All right. It is time to talk to our good friend, senior political writer for BuzzFeed and author of this great new book, which you're watching right now on TawkrTV. You can see me holding a copy of. It is called The Wilderness, Deep Inside the Republican Party's Combative, Contentious, Chaotic Quest to Take Back the White House. A phenomenal book all about the process of how Republicans are looking for a presidential candidate. He is McKay Coppins, and he joins us on the phone. McKay, good morning, man. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me.
This book, I think, is really fascinating, and congratulations to you, first of all, for getting the book out, but also for having the foresight to see what a circus the Republican primary situation was going to be this time around. I mean, did you have any idea that your book would be so relevant to what they're going through?
I mean, the funny thing is that I didn't even think I'm like very much on the record predicting Donald Trump would not run.
That's right.
And I still thought it was going to be a circus. So this went beyond my wildest dreams. But I mean, it looked like the book opens. It's a narrative. It's a story. It follows these characters. The book opens on election night 2012. Kind of going through where Ted Cruz and Donald Trump and Marco Rubio and all the different kind of candidates were on election night and how they were kind of processing this implosion of the national party. But for me on election night 2012, I was covering the Romney campaign, so I was in this like ballroom where like there was all these like half drunk, bitter Romney donors kind of milling around and like being depressed. And I remember at one point a Romney aide came over to me and said something like, if this ticket can't beat this incumbent, then I don't know if Republicans will ever win the White House again. And,
oh my God!
And I mean that was it's like it's a bad night for these people. So you can chalk that up to kind of dramatics, but it did kind of plant the seed of this idea that like it became clear pretty obvious. Or pretty early to me that there were going to be a lot of candidates running because a lot of people had stayed on the sidelines, and that really for the first time in a while there was no kind of heir apparent. Probably in like 40 years there was for the first time in like a generation there was no obvious next in line standard bearer, which meant that you had this huge rush of candidates into the field and a genuine it's a clash of egos, but it's also a clash of ideology. There really was kind of this sense that the party's future was up for grabs, and so all these kind of different ideological tribes decided to kind of go to war, and so that's kind of what the book covers.
The interesting thing to me, and I brought this up a lot, is Republicans really, truly do find themselves sort of out in the wilderness, right? What direction are they going to go in? Because in the last two presidential elections, one of the prevailing arguments from a lot of conservatives was that we put forth a candidate who wasn't conservative enough, right? Yep. Mitt Romney wasn't conservative enough, according to some Republicans. John McCain wasn't conservative enough. So you now got these candidates who are awfully conservative when you look at Ted Cruz or Donald Trump, who are both sort of at the top of most of the polls. But then you also have some sort of more establishment guys who are still kind of clinging to life. So that's the real question, right? Which direction are they going to go in?
Yeah, I mean, look, and that's the thing. I for a while, because, look, traditionally the party, with very few exceptions, the Republican Party ends up nominating the establishment frontrunner, right? They end up nominating the Mitt Romneys and the Bob Doles and the John McCains. And look, for the most part, that doesn't necessarily mean anything ideologically. Like, you could argue that Mitt Romney, while probably when he was in Massachusetts governed as a moderate to liberal Republican, by the time the primaries were through with him, he was very, very conservative.
Yeah.
But to me, like, it's not just a question of ideology. It's also a question of where kind of the apparatus around them. Like one of the things that as I was following these Republicans through the kind of last few years as they positioned themselves for 2016, one of the things I kept being struck by was the amount of money and clout and influence and kind of reach that now is on kind of the far right elements of the party, right? Like there's this whole. It used to be that there was the Republican establishment where all the money was and all the organization was, and then like every once in a while, every blue moon, you would have this like organic, crazy uprising of like a Barry Goldwater situation where like the right wing finally kind of charges in and beats the establishment once. But now you actually have this whole far-right counter-establishment that has, with the way the deregulated political money and kind of democratized media has worked. Like you can be a Ted Cruz, for example, or a Donald Trump, and if you learn how to kind of work the levers of the movement and kind of that counter-establishment, you really don't need the Republican establishment at all. So I think that's one of the dynamics you're seeing play out here.
Yeah, it's fascinating to watch for someone like who eats this stuff up. We're talking to McKay Coppin, senior political writer for BuzzFeed and author of this book that I have right here in my hot little hands, The Wilderness. Go get yourself a copy or go get a copy for the News Junkie online in your life. Tell me a little bit about the book, McKay, because how did you go about writing this book? Because it's so well sourced, so well reported in here. How was that process work for you?
I knew at the beginning that I didn't want to write a book that was like, nothing against books like this, but I didn't want it to be a polemic, and I didn't want it to be just like rehashing news that was already out there,
Sure, yeah.
So basically, I just kind of went to work. I mean, it ended up, the book is based on over 300 interviews.
Holy cow.
And so, part of it is like talking to the candidates, talking to their advisors, talking to their kind of inner circles. A lot of it was on the record. A lot of it was on background. I found, by the way, just as an aside, that like kind of the popularity of the Game Change books and to a certain extent Bob Woodward's books has made it so that like now there's just kind of an expectation when you write political nonfiction like this that your sources will be able to get like deep background status if they want. So that's something you have to contend with. But anyway, so I spent a lot of time just like kind of chipping away at it. I mean, and then also, I mean, the other thing about this book is that it kind of delves into the personal lives and biographies of these people. So I also talk to a lot of like ex-girlfriends and college roommates and youth pastors and like
that's that good muckraking work I like, McKay. That's what I want.
It took a lot of time to try. It's much harder to track those people down. But I mean, I think one of the things that I benefited from was that because I was starting this right after 2012, when there really was kind of this sense of like chaos and panic gripping the party, there were a lot of people a lot of like high-level Republican sources who were willing to just like sit down with me and just talk because they wanted to like think out loud,
Yeah, sure.
And you get them talking for long enough, like eventually they start telling you stuff that they probably shouldn't tell you, and that's
that's the sweet spot
in the book.
Yeah, it's the sweet spot. I think you really captured something with the book, really and truly, because even Republican people that we know and through the show or whatever, they really are sort of unsure about the future of the party. So. One last question, because when we look at the debates, right, we saw the debate earlier this week. There were 9 people on the big boy stage. Bill sort of says that, the field is a lot smaller than it looks, right? He's looking at maybe 5 people left. Who do you think is the next to get out?
I don't know. Somebody asked me this the other day. It's hard. I mean, like, you can make a case for Huckabee dropping out. You can make a case for I mean, the thing is, there's a lot of people. The problem is it's so easy now to stick around. All you need is, like, enough money. Like, I remember somebody talking to me about Rick Santorum and how in 2012, even when it was totally clear that he was not going to win the nomination, like, as long as he had enough money for, like, a, like, cheap JetBlue ticket to the next state, like, he was in, Like, and honestly, like, one of the things about, like, the book that I get at is, like, so much of this is about ego, and so many of these guys have been like literally planning to run for president since they were like 20 years old.
Oh my God!
Older earlier,
Yeah.
And so like, so that like it's really hard to let go of that. Once you're in it.
Sure. Sure. And the other thing is, running for president is great for business. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these guys we haven't heard the last of them, right? Even the ones that have already dropped out. We'll see them on TV plenty in the coming months.
Yes, absolutely. Book deals, radio contracts. It's a good racket. I plan to run for president as soon as I'm constitutionally.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, why not, right?
All right, McKay, best of luck, man, and sincere congratulations on a phenomenal book, The Wilderness, Deep Inside the Republican Party's Combative, Contentious, Chaotic Quest to Take Back the White House. Go get one for yourself or stuff it in the stocking of someone you love. Follow him on Twitter at McKay Coppins and read his fine work at BuzzFeed.com. Congratulations, man, and best of luck.
Hey, thanks a lot.
All right, McKay Coppins there from BuzzFeed. It really is a good book. I've read the whole thing. I've skimmed through it. This dude spent years reporting on this. I mean, the least you could do is go buy a copy, for crying out loud. 45 minutes past the hour. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press today. A very quick break. We'll be right back.
Your progressive headquarters for the 2016 election. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends, a little time out here to talk about Free Speech TV. You know what they say. You've heard me say it before. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and there's no such thing as Free Speech TV either. Well, yes, there is. I mean, it is free to you, and what a deal. What a great deal every day, 24/7. The best progressive programming you can find anywhere, with starting out with our show with Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and all the rest, Amy Goodman. And all of that coming out to you with the only progressive TV channel in this country that you can depend on day in and day out to bring you the news of the day and the progressive slant on the news of the day and give you a chance to express your opinions. Yes, all of that is free to you, but of course, you know, it costs to get that out, to get us out to you, for us to join you every day, and that's where we depend on your help. And again, ask for your help at this time of the year. I told you before, and it's true, we just could not do it without you. Free Speech TV gets no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money. We don't charge guests to be on the show. We don't charge anybody to be on the show. We just depend entirely on you. You are part of the team, and the important part of the team that keep us together every single day. So once again, at this time of the year, whether it's your Merry Christmas gift or your Happy Hanukkah gift, or just, make a tax-free contribution at the end of the year to lower your taxes kind of gift, whatever your motive, we hope it's just because you love all of us and you love this programming, and when you want to help it keep going. As a little incentive for you to dig in and help us with this December pledge drive, we want to suggest that for $30, you will get a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. We'll send out to you. For $60, Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all of your favorite hosts. For $120, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, a special charity to the Women's Bean Project, and you will get that calendar, a soup and a cornbread bundle, and 2 Bill Press Show pint glasses, a nice little package. Plus, part of that $240 will also go to Feeding America Project, the Women's Bean Project. For $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf. You know, I wear one, and so does President Clinton, by the way. And for $1,000, you get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will have a good time. We'll take you out to dinner. One of our favorite restaurants on the Hill, and you can come in the next morning here and meet all of our team. So please, help us as much as you can. Try to make $1,500 every day here on the Bill Press Show. Give us a call at 877-378-8669 and make your pledge, or just go online to freespeech.org, and let's keep this great partnership going. Thank you.
Streaming live video right now at youtube.com/TawkrTV. That's TAWKR-TV. This is the Bill Press Show.
Yep. This is the Bill Press Show. Friday all day long. 1 week until Crumma. I'm just ready for it to get here, man. Have you done? I know you're going out of town, Jamie.
Yes,
Have you
sir.
done all your Christmas shopping, or is this?
I've done about half of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's still people I don't know if I'm getting gifts for. You know?
All right, I can settle this for you. Yes, you should get me a little something. Okay. All right, I'll make it easy for you. I'll send you a little list.
Are you getting me something?
I already have you a little something.
Yeah, it's true.
Not that either. I mean, I got you something else. I got you something above and beyond.
Oh man, now I have to take this seriously.
I thought we talked about this.
No, it's fine. This weekend,
I got you a very thoughtful gift.
That's very nice of you.
Yeah.
And now the pressure is on, and I'm gonna crumble.
Yeah. Look, I'm sure you'll do just great.
All right.
No pressure.
Yeah, we'll see.
No pressure. I don't have it for you today, though. I'll give it to you next week before you go out of town. You're going back up north for Christmas.
Going back up to the great state of Maine.
I'm staying here for Christmas. Last year we traveled and it was horrible. Year before that we traveled and it was horrible. I mean, to load all your stuff up and go on a vacation or go visit people, you got to have the whole Christmas morning packed up in the car, you know? When you got kids, ugh. No
I go to my aunt and uncle's about 45 minutes north. It's not a terrible.
Oh, that's
terrible
fine. I mean,
drive.
that's not a.
It's a day thing.
That's not a huge thing for me. It's the Outlaws are in Ohio. My parents are in South Carolina. So for Santa to find the children,
yeah, you got a lot of.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of logistics. You got all kinds of logistics you got to work out there. All right, I'm going to read you part of this story.
Was that your segue, by the way? Was that your segue?
Well, no, it's just I just
the Bernie voice into
that wasn't Bernie voice.
Right.
That wasn't a Bernie. That was All right. Here's what we're talking about. Bernie is in a little bit of hot water because BuzzFeed, Evan McMorris Santoro, and Ruby Kramer got in on this joint. Both of them. So here's the deal. I'm just going to read straight from their story. The Democratic National Committee has suspended Bernie Sanders' access to the party's 50-state voter file in response to a software glitch that inadvertently allowed the Sanders campaign to access Hillary Clinton's internal voter data. So what happened was the DNC has all this voter information, right? And they allow the campaigns to look at some of this information, and it's for each campaign, right? You got Hillary has her data on Hillary Clinton voters. You have Bernie Sanders with his stuff on his voters. And the software had a little bit of a glitch. And so what happened is the Bernie team went into and looked at the Hillary Clinton campaign's voter data, which is a big no-no. That's something you just should not do.
And when it comes to the type of data, I assume this is like anything from email addresses, home addresses, to demographics, data, single, married, kids, all that.
All that stuff that people give to the campaign.
Which is huge because that
now
basically...
you know who you're targeting.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing. You know who your supporters are, and if you know who the supporters are of your opponent, you can target them to try and turn them over to your side, right? So it's dicey. It's dicey. Here's the problem. Again, I'm reading straight from this piece from Evan and Ruby from BuzzFeed. The breach occurred on Wednesday, a DNC official confirmed. The leading technology company that allows campaigns to identify voters is NGP Van. They monitor their preference and leanings in what's called a 50-state voter file. It's a brief window into a look at voters, and there was a bug in the software that exposed the campaign's internal voter ID data. During that period, the Sanders campaign discovered the breach, accessed the Clinton campaign's data, and then called the vendor to point out the flaw. The DNC has since cut out Sanders' access to the voter file until the campaign officials can prove that they've deleted the data. So this is not a good story for Bernie Sanders and his team. I'm not sure what exactly they were thinking because looks like they've been caught. And maybe some of this was innocent. Maybe some of this isn't as bad as Bernie would like us to believe, but it doesn't look good. And I'm sure there'll be some follow-up reporting from Evan and Ruby at BuzzFeed.com. All right. Quick break. My name is Peter Ogburn. We will talk to you on the other side of this break. Thanks for listening.
on your radio, on TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends, a little time out here to talk about Free Speech TV. You know what they say. You've heard me say it before. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and there's no such thing as Free Speech TV either. Well, yes, there is. I mean, it is free to you, and what a deal. What a great deal every day, 24/7. The best progressive programming you can find anywhere, with starting out with our show with Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and all the rest, Amy Goodman. And all of that coming out to you with the only progressive TV channel in this country that you can depend on day in and day out to bring you the news of the day and the progressive slant on the news of the day and give you a chance to express your opinions. Yes, all of that is free to you, but of course, you know, it costs to get that out, to get us out to you, for us to join you every day, and that's where we depend on your help. And again, ask for your help at this time of the year. I told you before, and it's true, we just could not do it without you. Free Speech TV gets no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money. We don't charge guests to be on the show. We don't charge anybody to be on the show. We just depend entirely on you. You are part of the team, and the important part of the team that keep us together every single day. So once again, at this time of the year, whether it's your Merry Christmas gift or your Happy Hanukkah gift, or just, make a tax-free contribution at the end of the year to lower your taxes kind of gift, whatever your motive, we hope it's just because you love all of us and you love this programming, and when you want to help it keep going. As a little incentive for you to dig in and help us with this December pledge drive, we want to suggest that for $30, you will get a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. We'll send out to you. For $60, Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all of your favorite hosts. For $120, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, a special charity to the Women's Bean Project, and you will get that calendar, a soup and a cornbread bundle, and 2 Bill Press Show pint glasses, a nice little package. Plus, part of that $240 will also go to Feeding America Project, the Women's Bean Project. For $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf. You know, I wear one, and so does President Clinton, by the way. And for $1,000, you get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will have a good time. We'll take you out to dinner. One of our favorite restaurants on the Hill, and you can come in the next morning here and meet all of our team. So please, help us as much as you can. Try to make $1,500 every day here on the Bill Press Show. Give us a call at 877-378-8669 and make your pledge, or just go online to freespeech.org, and let's keep this great partnership going. Thank you.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Last segment of the show. Peter Ogburn in for Bill Press today. Just a couple of quick plugs. Make sure you're following the show on Twitter at BP Show. Check out our website, BillPressShow.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Peter Ogburn. You can follow Jamie Benson on Twitter at JBensonDC.
You can say your final goodbyes, because after today's Bill Press Show holiday lunch, I may not be here on Monday.
You may not see Jamie anymore. So I hope you've enjoyed your time with Jamie Benson. Sweet guy, great worker, but unfortunately, he might meet an untimely demise at today's holiday lunchtacular. Boy, Monday's show will be fun. We'll see. We'll see if Jamie makes it back alive. We'll see. We'll see what shape Bill is in after drinking all day. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited for it.
It'll be a 2-day hangover.
By the way, don't forget, the president has a big news conference later on today. Bill's going to be tweeting at BP Show. So thanks for tuning in today. Really appreciate it.
This is the Bill Press Show.